The call came in before I even finished my first sip of tea. That was the first thing that felt wrong. The line blinked red. Steady, not urgent, not flash like a panic call. Just waiting, like it knew I was there. Like it had been waiting before I even logged in. I stared at it for a second longer than I should have. Then I picked up. 911, what's your emergency? Silence. Not the normal kind. Not the kind where someone's scared or hiding or trying to breathe. This was empty, like the line wasn't connected to a place. Just a space. I adjusted my headset. Hello? Can you hear me? Still nothing. But I didn't hang up. I don't know why. Usually, you get a few seconds, then disconnect. That's the rule. Keep lines clear. Move fast. Don't get stuck. But something in that silence felt aware, like someone was listening. Then I heard it. A breath. Slow. Soft. Close. Too close. Like the person on the other and wasn't holding the phone, but holding it right against their face. I straightened in my chair. Sir? Ma'am? If you can hear me, I need you to say something. Another breath. In. Out. Steady. Calm. Not scared. That made it worse. I checked the screen. No caller ID. No location ping. Nothing. Just a blank field where data should have been. That doesn't happen. Even block numbers show something. A tower. A rough location. A trace. This was empty. Okay, I said, trying to keep my voice even. If you can't speak, make a noise. Tap the phone. Anything. There was a pause. Then a faint sound. Not tapping. Not movement. It sounded like fabric shifting, like someone adjusting in a chair. And then the breathing stopped. Just like that. Gone. I leaned closer to the console, like that would help me hear better. Hello? Nothing. I glanced at the call timer. 0:47 seconds. It felt longer. Much longer. Last chance before I disconnect. I said more to myself than them. And then, a voice. Quiet. Flat. Familiar. You're early tonight. My hand froze on the keyboard. I didn't respond right away. Something about the way they said it. It didn't sound like a question, or even a statement. It sounded like recognition, like they already knew me. Who is this? I asked. A small pause. Then, softer this time. You always come in at 9:05. I looked at the clock. 9:02. A small, cold feeling slipped into my chest. That's not relevant, I said, forcing a professional tone. Tell me your emergency. The caller didn't answer that. Instead, you made tea tonight. My fingers tightened around the edge of the desk. I hadn't said that. I hadn't told anyone. And no one could see me from here. The dispatch room was sealed. No windows. No cameras on the inside. Only hallways. I swallowed. If this is a prank call. It's too hot. I blinked. What? The tea, they said. You didn't wait. You burned your tongue. My mouth went dry. Because I had. Just a minute ago. I didn't even react out loud. Just a small flinch. No one noticed. No one could have noticed. I leaned back slowly, putting space between me and the console, like it might help. Listen carefully. I said, lower now. If you need help, I can send someone. But I need your location. A faint sound came through. It almost sounded like a smile. I don't need help, the voice said. Then why are you calling 911? Another pause. Longer this time. The kind that stretches your nerves thin. Then, because you pick up, that didn't make sense. People call because they need help, or they're scared, or angry, or desperate. Not because I answer. I open a new log. Fingers moving slower now. Okay, I said, let's try something simple. What's your name? Silence again. But this time it wasn't empty. It felt focused, like they were thinking. Then, you already know it. A chill moved up my spine. No, I said, I don't. Another breath. Closer now. You just haven't heard it yet. Something in my chest tightened. That didn't sound like confusion. It sounded like timing, like I was late to something already happening. I shook my head slightly, trying to ground myself. All right, I'm going to trace this call. It was a lie. There was nothing to trace. but I needed to say something. The line stayed quiet for a few seconds. Then, "You should check your log first." My eyes flicked to the screen. The open report. Blank. Except, it wasn't blank anymore. A line had appeared. I didn't type it. I was sure I didn't. Caller name. Location. Status. Active. And then under notes, he picks up on the first ring. My breath caught. I stared at it, then quickly started typing over it, deleting the line. But for a second, just a second, I felt like I wasn't supposed to, like I was erasing something that wasn't mine. "Did you write that?" I asked, my voice tighter now. A soft sound came through again. Not a laugh. Not exactly. More like satisfaction. "You're reading it now," the caller said. "That's not possible. You always say that." My heart skipped. Always. The line crackled slightly. For the first time, the connection felt unstable, but the voice stayed clear. "You say it the first time," they continued, "and the second, and the third." A cold weight settled in my stomach. "What are you talking about?" No answer. Just that slow, steady breathing again. In, out, like it had never stopped. I glanced at the timer. 3:12. 3 minutes already. It didn't feel real. "I'm ending this call," I said, though my finger didn't move. "You won't." "Why not?" "Because I wasn't sure anymore." A pause. Then, "Because you want to know how it ends." My throat tightened. "How it ends?" No reply. Just silence. But this time, it wasn't empty. It felt full. Like something was about to happen. Like something was already in motion. I stared at the screen again. The log. Still open. Still active. And then, another line appeared. Slowly. Like it was being typed, but not by me. "Call duration. 4:01. I froze. The timer beside it read 3:58. My pulse started to rise. "Okay," I said, my voice barely steady now. "That's enough." I moved my hand to disconnect, but before I could, the caller spoke again. Clear. Calm. Too calm. "Don't hang up." I hesitated, just for a second, and in that second, they said something that made my blood run cold. "You missed the part where I say your name." My hand stopped, completely still. I hadn't told them my name. It's not public, not on the system, not on the line. No reason they should know it. Slowly, carefully, I leaned closer to Mike. "Say it." The line went quiet. No breathing, no movement, nothing. And then, right as I was about to speak again, the voice returned. Soft, close, right against my ear. And it whispered my name. Exactly. Perfectly. Like it had said it before. Like it had said it many times. The call disconnected immediately after. No click. No tone. Just gone. I sat there for a long time. Headset still on. Screen still glowing. Heart beating too fast. I told myself it was a prank. A glitch. Someone messing with the system. That had to be it. It had to be. But when I finally looked back at the call log, the entry was still there. Same blank name. Same missing location. Same active status. Only now, there was one more line added at the bottom. I don't remember typing it. I don't remember seeing it appear. But it was there, clear as anything. Next call comes sooner. I checked the time. 9:07. And for the first time since I started this job, I didn't want the phone to ring again. But somewhere deep inside, I knew it would. The next call came before I could close the last one. It didn't even wait for me to breathe. The line lit up again. Same dull red. Same steady glow. No number. No location. Just there. For a second, I just stared at it. That message from before, next call comes sooner, was still sitting in the log. I hadn't deleted it. I didn't want to touch it. The phone rang again. Short, sharp, like a reminder. I swallowed and picked up. 911, what's your emergency? No silence this time. A voice answered immediately. Male, mid-aged maybe, calm, but not in a normal way. More like someone who had already accepted something bad. You sent them already, he said. My fingers paused over the keyboard. Sir, I need you to explain. They were just here. A faint sound came through behind his voice. A door creaking, or maybe closing. I leaned forward. Who was there? The officers, he said. 2 of them. My eyes flicked to the dispatch board. No active units in that area. No recent calls matching anything like this. Sir, I haven't sent anyone, I said carefully. Can you confirm your location? There was a pause. Not confusion. Not hesitation. Just quiet disappointment. You always say that part wrong. A cold ripple moved through my chest. What do you mean? Another sound in the background. Footsteps. Slow. Heavy. Not his. They asked the same questions, he continued. Same voice. Same tone. My grip tightened on the desk. That's not possible. You said that too. My throat went dry. I forced myself to stay focused. Sir, listen to me. I need your address so I can send help. They didn't need it, he said. A soft thud echoed through the line, like something being set down or dropped. What happened when they arrived? I asked. No answer. Instead, I heard something else. A faint static, not from the line, from his side, like an old radio left on in another room. Sir, they didn't knock, he said suddenly. My chest tightened. They just came in. A chill spread up my arms. Who opened the door? They did. That didn't make sense. They had keys, he added. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. No unit carries house keys. No officer walks into a home without contact. Okay, I said slowly. I want you to leave the house. Go somewhere safe. I can't. Why not? A pause. Then quieter. They're still here. The words sat heavy in my ears. I glanced again at the dispatch board. Nothing. No units assigned. No officers missing. Everything looked normal. Too normal. Where are you right now? I asked. In the hallway, he said. Behind him, the static got louder. Then, a voice. Faint. Crackling. Dispatch confirmed entry. My breath caught. That wasn't coming from his phone. It sounded like a police radio. Sir, who else is in the house? I asked quickly. They told me to stay where I am. The static voice came again. Clearer this time. 2 inside, no response from subject. My heart started to pound. That was procedure language. Real. Accurate. But I hadn't sent anyone. Listen to me, I said, my voice lower now. Those are not my officers. They have your voice, he said. Everything inside me went still. What? They're talking to you, he whispered, through their radios. The static shifted. Then I heard it. Clear. Close. Dispatch, we made contact. My own voice. I froze. Same tone. Same pace. Even the small pause I always took before saying contact. It was me, but I wasn't speaking. I looked down at my mic. Muted. I hadn't said anything. Sir, I said slowly, try and keep my voice steady. What are they doing now? Footsteps again. Closer this time. Not his. They're coming down the hallway, he said. His breathing changed. Faster now. Not calm anymore. Hide. I told him. I tried that already. What happened? They found me. A door creaked open in the background. Then a different voice. Muffled, but close. Sir, step into the light. My chest tightened. That wasn't my voice. But it sounded wrong. Too flat. Too clean. Like someone copying how a person talks without understanding it. Sir, do not respond to them. I said quickly. They're asking about you, he whispered. What? They said they're here because you sent them. My mind raced. That's not true, I said. I didn't dispatch anyone. They don't believe that. The footsteps stopped. Right outside, wherever he was. Silence. Heavy. Waiting. Then a knock. Slow. Deliberate. 3 times. I felt it in my chest. Even through the line. Open the door, the voice said. Flat. Emotionless. Sir, do not open that door, I said firmly. They already know I'm here, he whispered. My fingers trembled slightly. Stay on the line, I said. I'm going to get real units to your location. But even as I said it, I knew I couldn't. There was still no location. No trace. Nothing. Sir, I need you to tell me anything around you. Street signs. Sounds. Anything. A long pause. Then, you're already here. My heart skipped. What? They said you're already inside. Cold spread through my chest. That's not possible. You're in the other room, he said. The static flared again. Louder. Distorted. And through it, my voice. Again. Dispatch confirms presence. I pulled my headset slightly away from my ear. Just for a second. Just to breathe. But when I put it back, the line had changed. No more footsteps. No more knocking. Just silence. Sir, nothing. Then, a soft sound, right near the phone, like someone picking it up, but slower, more careful. And then, a voice. Not the man's. Not mine. Something in between. You sent us. My throat tightened. I didn't send anyone. A small pause. Then, you will. The line crackled. Hard. Sharp. And then, disconnected. I sat there, frozen. The room felt smaller. Quieter. Like everything had pulled back just a little. I looked down at the call log. Hand still. Breathing shallow. The new entry had already filled itself in. Caller. Location. Status. Completed. And under notes. Units dispatched successfully. I shook my head. No, that's not right. I hadn't sent anyone. I didn't even have a location. My eyes moved to the dispatch board again, and that's when my stomach dropped. 2 units. Active. Just assigned. No timestamps. No operator ID. Just there. Unit 12. Unit 27. Status. On scene. I stared at it, unable to move, because I knew those units. I worked with them every night, and I hadn't spoken to either of them yet. Slowly, very slowly, the radio on my desk flickered. A soft burst of static. Then, dispatch, we've arrived. I didn't touch the mic. I didn't respond. I couldn't, because the voice that came through next was mine. Copy that. Proceed inside. My chest tightened so hard it hurt. I hadn't said that, but the system, the board, the call log, everything said I did. And then, one last update appeared on the screen. A new line, below everything else. Quiet, still, waiting. Next time, send them faster. I didn't answer the next call right away. It rang once, then again, slow, patient, like it knew I needed a second. My eyes were still locked on the dispatch board. Unit 12, Unit 27, both marked on scene. No movement, no updates, no voice confirmation from real officers. Just frozen. The radio sat quiet now. Too quiet, like it had already said everything it needed to. The phone rang again. I could feel it in my chest this time. Not loud, but heavy, like a pulse. I reached for it, then stopped because something didn't feel right. Not the call, not the room. Me. I turned my head slightly, looked around the dispatch floor. Same dim lights, same empty desks, same low hum of machines. Everything looked normal, but it didn't feel normal. It felt delayed, like I was a few seconds behind everything. The phone rang again, shorter this time, sharper. I picked it up. 911, what's your emergency? For a moment, nothing. Then, my own voice answered. What's your emergency? My hand tightened around the receiver. I didn't move, didn't breathe. The voice was perfect. Same pitch, same tone, same slight roughness at the end of the sentence. It wasn't close. It wasn't similar. It was exact. I forced myself to speak. Who is this? A pause. Then, who is this? The same words. My words, but delayed. Like an echo that wasn't supposed to be there. My chest tightened. This isn't funny, I said. Silence. Then, this isn't funny. It came back again. But this time, it wasn't delayed. It overlapped. My voice and the other voice speaking at the same time. Perfectly in sync. I pulled the headset slightly away, my heart starting to race. Stop, I said. Stop. still matching me. Every word, every breath. I muted my mic, waited, listened, nothing. Then, stop. The voice came again, but I hadn't spoken. My mic was muted. Slowly, I unmuted it. You can't hear me now, I said quietly. A beat. Then, you can't hear me now. My stomach dropped. It didn't matter what I did. It was still there, still copying, still ahead of me. I swallowed. What do you want? Silence. For a few seconds, I thought maybe it had stopped. Maybe the call had broken. But then, what do you want? It repeated again. But something had changed. The tone. It wasn't exactly mine anymore. It was flatter, smoother, like it had learned the words, but not the feeling behind them. I leaned forward slowly. You're not me? A pause. Longer this time. Then, not me? The words came back, but incomplete, like it was trying to choose what to keep. My breathing slowed slightly, a small piece of control returning. Good, I said quietly. You're messing up now. Silence. Then, good. The single word. Clear, sharp, closer than before. Too close. Like it wasn't coming through the line anymore. Like it was inside the headset, inside my ear. I pulled it off quickly, my pulse jumping. The room was silent. No one else. No movement. Just me and the soft hum of the system. I stared at the headset for a second, then slowly put it back on. The line was still active, still connected. You're still here, the voice said. I froze. I hadn't spoken. I didn't say anything. I whispered. Didn't say anything. It repeated again, but quieter, weaker, like it was losing something, or changing. I glanced at the screen. Call duration, 2:44. But something felt wrong. It felt longer, much longer. Why are you copying me? I asked. A pause. Then, copying. Only the last word. Again, incomplete. I leaned closer, trying to understand, trying to find a pattern. You're not just repeating, I said slowly. You're choosing. Silence. Then, choosing. That word again. But this time, it didn't sound like me at all. It sounded like someone learning how to speak by listening, like a voice being built piece by piece. A cold realization started to form. You're listening to me, I said, listening to me, but you're also ahead of me. The line stayed quiet. No echo, no repeat, just stillness. And that scared me more than anything, because it meant I had said something right. Then, ahead, the word came back. Soft, careful, testing. My chest tightened. What happens next? I asked. No answer. Then, what happens next? But this time, it wasn't copying. It was asking. The tone was different. Curious. Empty. Like it didn't know. Like it was waiting for me to tell it. A chill moved through me. You don't know? I whispered. Silence. Then, don't know. The same pattern. Breaking. Incomplete. I felt something shift inside me. Not fear. Not yet. Something else. Understanding. You need me, I said quietly. The line went completely still. No sound. No breath. Nothing. And then, need. Just that word. Barely audible. I exhaled slowly. My hand steadier now. If I stopped talking, I said, you stop learning. No response. But I could feel it. Listening. Waiting. So let's try something. I continued. I leaned back slightly. Created space. Controlled. My name is... The voice cut in instantly, saying it before me. Perfectly. Clearly. My name. Again. Exactly. My breath caught. That's not possible. I whispered. Not possible. Back to copying. But now, there was something else in it. Something deeper. Like it had already learned that part. Like it didn't need me for that anymore. My chest tightened. How do you know that? Silence. Then, know that. Incomplete again. But slower. Like it was thinking. Then, a new sound. Soft. Faint. Behind the voice. A radio. Crackling. My heart skipped. Dispatch confirmed position. I froze. That wasn't from this call. That was from the units. Unit 12, Unit 27, the ones I never sent. You hear that? I asked. No response. The radio voice came again. Clearer this time. We have visual. My pulse started to rise again. What do you see? I whispered. The line stayed silent. Then, what do you see? But it didn't sound like a question. It sounded like it was repeating something else. Something it had already heard. The radio cracked louder. Subject is seated. My stomach dropped. Seated. At a desk. My grip tightened. Wearing headset. Cold spread through my chest. Facing forward. I stopped breathing. He doesn't see us. The room felt smaller. Closer. Like the walls had moved in. Slowly. Very slowly. I turned my head. Nothing. Empty room. Same as before. But it didn't feel empty anymore. It felt occupied. Observed. The line whispered again. Doesn't see us. Not copying me. Copying them. My heart pounded harder. Where are you? I asked, my voice barely steady. Silence. Then, where are you? But now, the voice was changing again. Not mine. Not theirs. Something in between. Something closer. Something learning faster. The radio crackled one last time. Dispatch were right behind. The transmission cut off. Sharp. Sudden. Gone. I didn't move. Didn't turn around. Couldn't. The line stayed open. Breathing returned. Slow. Steady. Close. And then the voice spoke. Clear. Confident. No delay. No echo. No mistakes. We found you. My hand slipped from the desk. The headset pressed tighter against my ear. And for the first time since it started, the voice didn't sound like it was copying anymore. It sounded like it had finished learning. The call timer ticked up. 4:59, and just before it hit 5 minutes, a new line appeared in the log. I didn't touch anything, didn't type, didn't move, but it wrote itself anyway. Voice match complete. The call ended, and I still hadn't turned around. The system logged the next call before the phone even rang. I didn't notice it at first. I was still sitting there, frozen, staring at nothing. My headset felt heavier now, like it didn't belong on me anymore, like it belonged to something else. The room was quiet again. Too quiet. No radio. No calls. Just the faint hum of the machines and my own breathing, uneven and shallow. I told myself to move, to stand up, turn around, check the room. But I didn't, because of what the radio said. Right behind, it never finished. And I didn't want to know what came after, so I stayed still. Seconds passed, or maybe minutes. It was hard to tell now. Time didn't feel right anymore, like it was slipping, stretching. Then something blinked on the screen. A new entry. I hadn't touched the system. I hadn't accepted a call. But the log, it was already there. Caller, location, status, incoming. Call time, 9:12. I looked at the clock. 9:09. My chest tightened. No, I whispered. The entry stayed. Unmoving. Unchanging. Like it didn't care what time it actually was. I leaned closer. Checked the system clock again. Still 9:09, but the log said 9:12. 3 minutes ahead. The same way that call timer had been ahead earlier. The same way the voice had been ahead of me. A slow, cold realization started to settle in. This hasn't happened yet, I said under my breath. The screen flickered slightly. And then the phone rang. Sharp, loud, too loud. I flinched. My hand hovered over it. I didn't want to answer. Not this one. Because this one, it was already written. The phone rang again. Shorter this time. Like it was impatient. I picked it up. Slow. Careful. 911, what's your emergency? For a moment, nothing. Then, a voice. Weak. Shaking. Barely holding together. Please, you have to listen this time. My grip tightened instantly. I am listening, I said. Tell me what's happening. You didn't last time, the voice said. It was male, young, scared, different from before. But something about it felt Familiar. I'm here now, I said. Start from the beginning. A shaky breath came through. He's in the house. My chest tightened. Who is? I don't know, he whispered, but he knows everything I say. A cold chill moved through me. Where are you right now? I asked. In my room, he said quickly. Door locked. A faint sound echoed behind him. A slow, dragging noise, like something moving across the floor. He's outside, the caller whispered. I leaned forward. Listen carefully. Stay quiet. Don't open that door. I didn't last time either, he said. My stomach dropped. What do you mean? A pause. Then, you told me the same thing. The words hit hard, because I hadn't taken this call before. I knew I hadn't, but the log, the time, everything felt wrong. I need your address, I said quickly. You didn't get it before, he replied. I'm asking now. Another dragging sound, closer this time, right outside his door. You're too late again, he whispered. I'm not late, I said, louder now. I'm here. I'm talking to you. The line crackled slightly. Then, you said that too. My chest tightened. The screen flickered again. I glanced at the log. The entry had updated. Status, active, and below it, a line was typing itself. Slowly, caller repeats previous outcome. My breath caught. What happened last time? I asked. No answer. Just breathing. Fast now. Panicked. He's at the door, the caller whispered. A soft knock echoed through the line. Slow, deliberate, 3 times. My heart started to race again. Do not respond, I said firmly. I didn't before, he said. Then what happened? The caller didn't answer. Instead, the door handle moved. A soft click, then stopped. Silence. Heavy. Waiting. I could hear the caller's breathing. Shallow now. Barely controlled. He's listening, he whispered. My grip tightened. Stay on the line. I'm here. The dragging sound came again. Right outside. Then, a voice. From the other side of his door. Calm. Flat. Too familiar. Open the door. My blood ran cold. It was me. My voice. Again. Clear. Perfect. Do not open that door. I said quickly. You said that before, the caller whispered, and you still opened it. My chest tightened painfully. I didn't. You told me it was safe, he said. My mind raced. I wouldn't say that. You did. The voice outside his door spoke again. Softer this time. Closer. You already let me in. The caller let out a shaky breath. No, I didn't. The handle turned again. Slow. This time, it didn't stop. The door creaked open. A long, slow sound. I felt it in my spine. What do you see? I asked, my voice barely steady. Silence. Then, it's you. Everything inside me went still. What? You're standing there, he whispered, in the doorway. My chest tightened so hard I couldn't breathe. That's not possible, I said. You're wearing the headset, he continued. You're smiling. I shook my head slowly, even though he couldn't see me. I'm not there. You said that before, too. A pause. Then, you said everything before. The line crackled sharply. Then, a sound, a struggle, a sharp inhale. And then, nothing. Dead silence. The call ended. I sat there, unable to move, unable to think. My eyes slowly moved back to the log. The entry had finished updating. Status, completed. Call time, 9:12. End time, 9:16. And below it, one final line. Clear, cold, outcome confirmed. My hands started to shake. No, that's not. The screen flickered again. Another entry appeared, below the last one. New, fresh, already filled. Caller, location, dispatch room. My breath stopped. Call time, 9:18. I looked at the clock. 9:14. For minutes early, my heart started to pound harder. No. The new line continued typing. Slowly, like it had all the time in the world. Operator reports presence behind him. I couldn't breathe, couldn't move. The word stayed on the screen, waiting. Then the final line appeared, the one that made everything go completely silent. Cause of death. Self-reported visual confirmation. My chest tightened. My ears rang. Slowly, very slowly, the phone began to ring again. But this time, I didn't look at it. I didn't move. Because the log, it was already telling me what I would do next. He turns around. My hands trembled against the desk. Every instinct screamed not to move, not to look, not to finish whatever this was. But something else, something quieter, pulled at me. A need to know, a need to see. Because every call, every voice, every word, it had all been leading here, to this moment. I closed my eyes for a second, took a slow breath, and then I started to turn. The phone kept ringing. The screen stayed lit. And just before I could see what was behind me, the log updated one last time. He sees it. Everything went quiet, and the call was still waiting. The screaming started before the caller spoke. It was already there when I picked up. High, sharp, distant, like it was coming from another room or another floor or somewhere deeper than that. I didn't even get through my full line. 911, what's your... Do you hear that? The caller cut me off. Male, breathing hard. Voice shaking but not panicked yet. More like confused. Like he didn't trust what he was hearing. I need you to calm down, I said. Tell me your location. I don't know it, he said quickly. The screaming rose again in the background. Longer this time. It dragged like it didn't want to stop. My grip tightened on the desk. Sir, where are you calling from? I was driving, he said. I took a turn. I don't remember which one. The road just kept going. That didn't help. Look around, I said. Any signs? Buildings. There was a pause. Then, I think there's a house. The word think sat wrong with me. You think. I can see it, he said. But it doesn't look right. The screaming stopped. Just like that. Cut off. Clean. The silence that followed felt heavier than the noise. What do you mean it doesn't look right? I asked. Another pause. Longer. Like he was trying to understand what he was seeing. It's too dark, he said slowly. Like the light doesn't touch it. A chill moved up my arms. Describe it, I said. It's a normal house, he said. 2 floors. Front porch. Windows. He hesitated. But the windows are black. Lights are off. No, he whispered. Not off. The silence stretched again. Then, they're not there. My fingers paused on the keyboard. What do you mean? It looks like windows, he said. But when I look at them, there's nothing behind them. My chest tightened. Sir, step away from property. I didn't go near it yet. Another sound came through, a faint creak, like wood shifting, or a door moving slowly. I think it sees me, he said. My grip tightened. Houses don't see people. I said, try to ground him. I didn't say it was a house. That stopped me. Then what sees you? He didn't answer. Instead, a soft crunch of gravel. Footsteps. Slow. Careful. Sir, are you moving closer? I asked quickly. I didn't mean to, he said. Another step. I just needed to hear it better. My chest tightened. Hear what? The screaming came back. Louder now. Clearer. Not distant anymore. Inside the house. And close. Too close. It didn't sound like one person. It sounded like many. Layered. Overlapping. Like voices stacked on top of each other. All screaming at once. I felt it in my chest. Get back in your car, I said firmly. I can't, he whispered. Why not? A pause. Then, I don't see the road anymore. Cold spread through my stomach. What do you mean you don't see it? I turned around, he said. It's gone. That didn't make sense. There has to be a road, I said. There was, he replied. Another step. Closer. The gravel sounds sharper now. I think it wants me to come closer. No, I said immediately. That's not real. That's just your mind. It got quieter, he said suddenly. The screaming, it was fading, dropping, like someone lowering a volume, slowly. Why did it stop? He whispered. I didn't answer, because I didn't know, and I didn't like what that meant. What do you see now? I asked. I'm on the porch, he said. My chest tightened. I didn't tell you to go there. I didn't walk, he said. A long pause. Then, I was just here. The wood creaked again. Closer. Right under him now. Sir, listen to me carefully, I said. Do not enter that house. I think the door is open. My breath caught. I didn't hear it open. Another creak. Slower. Longer. It's already open, he whispered. The silence on the line felt thick, heavy, like something was waiting. What do you see inside? I asked quietly. Nothing. No answer. Just breathing. Slow. Uneven. Then, it's dark, he said. Can you turn on a light? There's no switch. A step. Soft. Inside now. You went in. I asked. I didn't mean to. The words came out fast this time. Scared. Finally scared. I thought I was still outside. My chest tightened harder. Get out, I said. Now. I can't find the door. The screaming came back, but not loud, not distant, right next to him, like it was breathing in his ear. I think it's behind me, he whispered. Don't turn around. I said immediately. I already did. Silence. Then, it's not a person. My fingers went cold. What is it? Another pause. Long. Heavy. Like he didn't have words for it. It's wrong, he said finally. That didn't help. What does it look like? It doesn't stay the same. A faint sound came through, like something dragging across the floor again. Closer. He's coming closer, the caller whispered. Who? I asked. I don't think it's just one. My heart started to pound harder. Listen to me, I said. I'm sending units to your location. My fingers moved quickly over keyboard, trying to pull anything. Signal, tower, anything, nothing, blank, no data, no trace, no location. Sir, I said, try and stay steady. I need something, anything that tells me where you are. I don't think this place is on a map, he said. The words hit harder than they should have. What makes you say that? Another dragging sound, right behind him now, because it wasn't here before. My breath slowed. What do you mean? I drive this road every day, he said. There's nothing here. A pause. Then, there was nothing here. The line crackled softly. The system flickered. And then, something appeared on my screen. A location field, filling in slowly, like it was being written, not detected. Street, city. Then, location, not listed. I stared at it. That wasn't a system error. That wasn't even a real option. Sir, I said, my voice lower now. Stay where you are. Do not move. I don't think I am moving, he said. A pause. Then, but it's getting closer anyway. The breathing on his end changed. Faster. Shallower. It's right in front of me now. What do you see? I asked. Silence. Then, it's looking at me. My chest tightened. What does it look like? Another pause. Then, it looks like you. Everything inside me went still. That's not possible, I said. You're wearing the headset, he whispered. Cold spread through my arms. You're smiling. The line crackled hard, sharp, like something breaking. And then, the screaming came back. All at once. Loud, violent, right inside my ear. I pulled the headset slightly away, heart racing. Sir, the line cut, dead, gone. I sat there, breathing hard. The room felt smaller, quieter, wrong. Slowly, I looked at the screen. The call log had updated. Caller, location, not listed status, completed, and below it, a single line, clear, still, property remains active. I stared at it, not understanding, not wanting to understand. And then, the system flickered again. Another line appeared, below the first, slower this time, like it was being written carefully. Next caller is closer. My chest tightened. I looked around the room. For the first time since the call ended, it didn't feel empty anymore. The units accepted the call before I finished writing it. I didn't press dispatch. I didn't even have a real address, but the board updated anyway. Unit 14, Unit 32, status and route. My fingers hovered over the keyboard, not moving, because the location field still said the same thing. Not listed. Cancel that. I said out loud, even though I hadn't sent it. No response. The system didn't change. The units kept moving. I could see their GPS dots on the map. 2 small blue lights, drifting toward a place that wasn't there. The phone stayed quiet. The room stayed still. But something felt active, like the system was doing something without me. Then the radio cracked. Dispatch confirmed location. Unit 14. His voice sounded normal. Grounded. Real. That helped for a second. Unit 14, stand by. I said quickly, do not proceed until I confirm coordinates. There was a short pause. Then, we already see it. My chest tightened. See what? I asked. The house. The words landed heavy. How are you seeing it? I asked. That location doesn't exist in the system. A pause. Then, it exists out here. I looked at the map again. The dots had stopped moving. Right in the middle of an empty grid. No streets. No buildings. Nothing. Just blank space. Unit 32 confirmed visual. I said. Another voice came through. Lower. Slower. Confirming. A small crackle. 2-story house. Front porch. Same description. Exactly the same. My grip tightened. Do not approach. I said firmly. Stay in the vehicle. Silence. Then, we're already out. My chest dropped. Get back inside the vehicle. I said quickly. No response. Only static. Then, footsteps. Crunching gravel. Same sound from the caller. Same slow rhythm. I leaned closer to the radio. Unit 14, report your position. On the porch. Too fast. Too soon. My heart started to race. You just arrived, I said. How are you already on the porch? A pause. Then, we didn't walk. Cold spread through my stomach. The radio hissed softly. We were just here. Same words. Same pattern. I swallowed hard. Unit 32, status? No answer. Just breathing. Heavy. Close to the mic. It's quiet now, he said finally. The screaming. It had stopped again. Same as before. What do you see? I asked. Doors open. Of course it was. It was always open. Do not enter. I said, sharper this time. You said that before. The words hit hard. I froze. That wasn't me. I said, it sounded like you. My chest tightened. Of course it did. It always did. Listen carefully. I said, that is not me. Do not follow any instructions unless I confirm them right now. A pause. Then, confirm. The word echoed. Flat. Empty. Not quite right. The radio crackled again. A new voice. Calm. Controlled. Dispatch were making entry. My heart slammed against my ribs. That's not me, I said quickly. Do not enter the structure. Silence. Then, the sound of a footstep. With creaking, they were already inside. I closed my eyes for a second. Too late again. What do you see? I asked. No answer. Just static. Then, it's bigger inside. The words came slowly, carefully, like he didn't trust them. How much bigger? I asked. Too much. That didn't help. Describe it. A pause. Then, hallway keeps going. The static shifted. No end. My chest tightened. That's not possible, I said. You said that too. Of course I did. I always did. The radio crackled again. Louder this time. Distorted. We lost sight of each other. Unit 14. His voice sounded farther now, like he had moved away. Stay together. I said immediately, we were. A pause. Then, he's gone. My grip tightened. Who's gone? Unit 32. My stomach dropped. What happened? Silence. Then, he turned the corner. A soft dragging sound came through. Faint, but clear. Same sound as before. He said something. Unit 14 continued. What did he say? I asked. A long pause. Then he said he saw you. My chest went cold. What? You were standing at the end of the hallway. I shook my head, even though he couldn't see me. I'm not there. You said that too. The radio hissed louder. Then a new voice. Close. Too close. Dispatch, I found him. That was Unit 32. But his voice sounded wrong. Flat, smooth, like something wearing his voice. Unit 32, confirm your status. I said. A pause. Then, status confirmed. That wasn't an answer. Where are you? I asked. Inside. My fingers tightened. Inside where? No reply. Just breathing. Slow. Measured. Then, you sent us here. I didn't send you anywhere, I said. You will. The same words. Again, always the same. The radio crackled violently. Then, a loud thud. Something falling. Followed by a sharp inhale. Then silence. Unit 14? I said quickly. No response. Unit 32? Nothing. Just static. Empty. I leaned closer. Listening. Waiting. Then a faint sound. Far away. Like it was coming from deep inside something. Still here. My breath caught. Who is this? I asked. No answer. Then, still inside. The words stretched. Distorted. Not quite human anymore. The signal flickered. In and out. Can't find the door. My chest tightened. Stay where you are. I said, do not move. Not moving. A pause. Then, but it's changing. Same words. Same pattern. The hallway. The house. Everything. Walls are moving. The voice whispered. I felt a cold pressure in my chest. What do you see? I asked. No reply. Then, you... My hand slipped slightly on the desk. You're standing in front of me, the voice said. You're holding the headset. My breathing stopped. You're smiling. The radio cut out. Dead. Gone. I sat there, frozen. The silence pressing around me. Heavy. Unnatural. Slowly, I looked at the dispatch board. Unit 14. Unit 32. Both still active. Both still marked. Unseen. No movement. No updates. No signals. Just there. I swallowed hard. This isn't real. I whispered. The system flickered. Then, a new update appeared. Unit 14, status. Inside Unit 32, status. Inside. My chest tightened. That wasn't a valid status. That didn't exist. And then, the final line appeared beneath both units. Slow. Deliberate. Like it wanted me to read it carefully. Entry confirmed. Exit unavailable. The radio clicked once. Soft. Almost gentle. And then, a voice whispered through it. Not clear. Not complete. But close enough. Still inside. The room felt smaller again. Closer. Like the walls had moved in just a little more. And for the first time, I started to wonder something I hadn't let myself think before. If they were still inside, then where exactly was I? The call never ended. I didn't notice it right away. After the radio went silent, I just sat there, staring at the board, trying to make sense of those two words. Inside. That wasn't a place. That wasn't a status. But it stayed there like the system understood something I didn't. I reached for the mouse, trying to clear the screen, reset the log, do anything normal, and that's when I saw it. The call timer. Still running. Same call. Same unknown number. Duration, 1842. My breath slowed. No, I whispered. I hadn't been on the line that long. I ended the call. I heard it disconnect. I was sure of it, but the system said otherwise. The line was still active. I didn't touch the headset. Didn't speak. Just listened. At first, nothing. Then, a sound. Faint. So faint I almost missed it. Breathing. Slow. Uneven. Not mine. Not coming from the room. From the line. My chest tightened. Hello, I said carefully. The breathing stopped. Just for a second. Then resumed. Softer now, like it knew I was listening. Who's on the line? I asked. No answer. Just that same quiet breathing. In, out, in, out. Steady, controlled, not panicked, not scared. That made it worse. I leaned closer, trying to catch anything else. And then, a whisper. You stayed. The words were weak, broken, but human. Unit 14? I asked quickly. A pause. Then, not him. My fingers tightened. Unit 32? Silence. Then, still inside. My stomach dropped. The same words. Again. But this time, they sounded different. Not distorted. Not copied. Real. Fading. Where are you? I asked. The line crackled softly. Can't see it anymore? What can't you see? The house. A chill ran through me. What do you see instead? A long pause. Then, walls. That didn't make sense. What kind of walls? Not straight. The words came slow, like it hurt to say them. They move. My chest tightened. Are you injured? I asked. No response. Just breathing. Then, he's still here. Cold spread through my arms. Who is? Silence. Then, you. My heart skipped. That's not possible, I said. You said that before. The pattern again. Always the same. But weaker now, like it was breaking. Listen to me, I said, trying to stay focused. You need to find a way out. Look for doors, windows, anything. No doors, he whispered. No windows. A pause. Then, just more hallway. The sound shifted. Something scraped across the floor. Closer now. Do you hear that? I asked. It hears you, he said. My throat tightened. What does it look like? A long silence. Then, it doesn't stay still. My grip tightened on the desk. Try not to look at it, I said. It looks at me. The breathing changed. Faster now. Shallower. He's getting closer. The voice whispered. Stay calm, I said. Keep talking to me. You're already here. My chest tightened. No, I'm not. You're standing behind me. I froze. The room felt colder. Heavier. Turn around, the voice whispered. I didn't say that. I said quickly, you will. The line crackled sharply. Then another voice, faint, layered under first. Dispatch confirm. My breath caught. That was a radio. But weaker, like it was coming from deep inside something. Unit 14? I asked. No answer. Only whispers now. Multiple. Overlapping. Too soft to understand. Still inside. Can't get out. Don't turn. He's here. The words blended together. Building. Stacking. Like the screaming from before, but quieter. Closer. More controlled. I pulled the headset slightly away, but the sound didn't fade. It stayed the same. Like it wasn't coming through the speaker anymore. Like it was already in my head. I forced myself to put it back. Listen to me, I said. Louder now. Focus on my voice. Tell me exactly what you see. The whisper stopped. All at once. Clean. Sudden. Then, you. The single word came back. Clear. Sharp. Too clear. My chest tightened. What about me? I asked. Silence. Then, you're sitting there. My breath caught. Same desk. My grip tightened. Same headset. Cold spread through my body. That's not possible, I said. You said that before. The same loop, the same words. But now, they were describing me, not something else. Not a memory. Now, right now, what else do you see? I asked, my voice barely steady. A pause. Then, screen is on. My eyes flicked to the monitor. Call is still active. My pulse started to rise. You're reading it. I didn't move. Didn't blink. You're not turning around. My chest tightened harder. Why would I turn around? I whispered. A long silence. Then, because I did. The words hit deep. What happened when you turned around? I asked. No answer. Just breathing. Slow. Shaky. Then, I saw it. My throat went dry. What did you see? A pause, longer than before. Then, me. Everything inside me went still. That doesn't make sense, I said. It didn't then either. The line crackled again. Then, a soft sound, right behind me, not from the call, from the room. I froze, didn't move, didn't breathe. Another sound, closer, a faint shift, like something adjusting its weight. I stared at the screen. The call timer kept moving. 22:17. You hear it now, the voice whispered. My hand started to shake. Stay on the line, I said, even though I wasn't sure who I was talking to anymore. Can't leave, the voice replied. A pause. Then, call never ended. The words echoed in my head, not from the speaker, not from the room, from somewhere deeper. Why did it end? I asked. Silence. Then, because you didn't hang up. My chest tightened. I did, I said. Not the first time. A chill ran through me. What first time? No answer. Just breathing. Then, you always stay. The system flickered. The screen dimmed slightly. Then, a new line appeared in the log. I didn't type it. Didn't touch anything. But it wrote itself anyway. Connection persists beyond call termination. My pulse pounded in my ears. Another sound came from behind me. Closer now. Clearer. Breathing. Slow. Steady. Not from the headset. From the room. My grip tightened on the desk. I didn't turn. Couldn't. You're almost there, the voice whispered. Almost where? I asked. A long pause. Then, you just have to look. The breathing behind me got closer. Right behind my chair now. Close enough that I could feel it. Warm. Real. My heart pounded harder. The screen flickered again. Another line appeared. Slow. Careful. Like it was watching me while it wrote. Final confirmation pending. The voice on the line whispered one last thing. Soft. Almost gentle. We never left. The call timer hit 2300 hours. And I still hadn't turned around. The breathing started before I even said hello. Slow, heavy, too close to the mic. I froze for half a second, hand still hovering near the keyboard, because something about it didn't sound right. It wasn't panic. It wasn't fear. It sounded steady, like whoever was on the other end wasn't in danger. Just there, listening. I forced myself to speak. 911, what's your emergency? The breathing didn't change. In, out, in, out. Same pace, same distance, no movement, no background noise, just air. I leaned closer to the screen, checking the caller ID. Blank, no number, no location, nothing. That wasn't new anymore, but it still felt wrong every time. Hello, I said again. If you can hear me, I need you to respond. The breathing paused, just for a second. Then it started again. Same rhythm. Like my voice didn't matter. Like I wasn't part of the call. A small tension built in my chest. Tap the phone if you can't speak, I said. Make any kind of sound. Nothing. Just air. I glanced at the timer. 0:36. It felt longer. I shifted slightly in my chair. The room felt quieter than usual. Too quiet, like the sound from the line was filling the space around me. Sir or ma'am, I tried again, softer now. Are you safe? The breathing slowed. Barely. Just enough to notice. My fingers paused over the keyboard. That was the first change. Are you alone? I asked. The breathing stopped. Completely. Silence. I held my breath without realizing it. Waiting. Listening. And then it came back. But closer. Closer than before. Like the caller had leaned in, right against the phone. My chest tightened. Okay, I whispered. You can hear me. No reply. Just that same slow inhale. Exhale. I swallowed. This line is for emergencies. I said, if you don't respond, I'll have to disconnect. The breathing didn't change. Didn't react. Didn't care. Something about that made my skin crawl. Because most silent callers, they react. They panic. They move. This one didn't. It just stayed, like it wasn't waiting for help. It was waiting for me. I ended the call. Or at least, I pressed a button. The line went dead. The room went quiet again. I exhaled slowly. It's just a glitch, I muttered. Or a prank. Or someone messing around. It had to be something normal. Something explainable. I logged the call quickly. No ID. No location. No response. Routine. Nothing special. But my hand hesitated before I finished typing. Because I couldn't shake the feeling that it wasn't over. That something about it was still there. The phone rang again. Immediately. Same line. Same blank ID. I stared at it for a second. Then picked up. 911, what's your emergency? The breathing was already there. Same pace. Same rhythm. Exactly the same. My chest tightened slightly. Is this the same caller? I asked. No answer. Just air. I leaned back slowly. Testing something. You just called me. I said. You didn't speak then either. The breathing paused. Just for a second. Then resumed. That was the second change. You can understand me, I said quietly. The breathing didn't stop this time, but it shifted slightly faster, slightly uneven. Not much, but enough. A small reaction. That was something. Good, I said. Stay on the line. I'm here. For a moment, there was a strange kind of calm, like I had control again. Like this was just another difficult caller. Then, the breathing stopped again, and something else came through. A sound, very faint, barely there, like air moving but shaped, almost like a word. I leaned forward. What was that? I asked. Silence. Then, breathing again. Same pattern. Like nothing happened. My pulse started to rise. Try again, I said. Say something. Nothing. Just air. But now I couldn't ignore it. That sound, it wasn't random. It wasn't static. It was trying to be something. A voice. A word. A start. I swallowed. How many times have you called? I asked. The breathing paused again. Longer this time. Then resumed. Slower. Heavier. Like it was thinking. My fingers tightened slightly. That's not a normal reaction. I whispered. The line stayed quiet for a second. Then a second sound. Clearer this time. Still faint. Still broken. But closer to a word. I felt my chest tighten. What are you trying to say? I asked. No answer. Just breathing again. But now, the rhythm was different. Not steady anymore. Not calm. It was changing. Adapting. Like it was trying to match something. Match me. A slow realization started to build. You're listening, I said quietly. The breathing stopped. Completely. Then resumed, matching my pace. I froze. My breath slowed, and the sound followed it. In, out. Same timing. Same length. Exactly the same. My stomach dropped. That's not possible. I whispered. The breathing continued. Perfectly synced. Like it was copying me. I pulled the headset slightly away, but the sound stayed the same. Didn't fade. Didn't change. It was locked to me. I forced myself to speak again. You're copying me. The breathing didn't stop, but something else slipped through it. A faint shape. A sound forming inside the air. You, my hand tightened instantly. What? Silence. Then, breathing again. But now, it wasn't empty anymore. It felt full, like something was building inside it. Learning. Growing. I leaned forward slowly. What did you just say? No response. But the breathing changed again. Faster now. Less controlled. Like it was pushing toward something. Trying to break through. Say it again, I said. The line went completely silent. No air. No sound. Nothing. And for a second, I thought it was over. That the call had dropped. That whatever this was had stopped. Then a whisper. So soft, I almost didn't hear it. Stay. My chest tightened. What? Silence. Then breathing again. But different now. Not just air. Not just sound. Something behind it. Something forming. I stared at the screen. The call timer kept moving. 2:58. Almost 3 minutes. Too long for a silent call. Too long for nothing. You don't want me to hang up? I said slowly. The breathing stopped. Then a single inhale. Sharp, quick, like a reaction. That was enough. I felt it clearly now. You're learning. I whispered. The line stayed still, but it didn't feel empty anymore. It felt focused, like it was waiting for the next thing I would say, the next thing it could take. My chest tightened. Who taught you to do this? I asked. No answer, but something shifted, deep in the sound, like a memory, like an echo of something older. Then the whisper came again, clearer this time, stronger. Stay. The word hung in the air, cold, heavy, and before I could respond, the call ended, just like that. No warning, no click, gone. I sat there, staring at the screen, breathing slower now, trying to steady myself, trying to make sense of it. Then I looked at the log. The entry had already filled in. Caller, location, status, completed, and under notes, a single line, typed perfectly. Subject responds to repetition. My chest tightened again, because I hadn't typed that. I hadn't written anything yet. And just below it, another line appeared, slower this time, like it was being added carefully. More voices incoming. The phone didn't ring. Not yet, but something in the room changed. Subtle, quiet, like the silence wasn't empty anymore, like it was waiting. And for the first time, I realized something I hadn't thought before. That call wasn't just one voice. It was the beginning. The third call didn't sound like the first two. It sounded older. The breathing came in rougher this time, not slow and steady anymore. It dragged, like it had weight behind it, like each inhale had to push through something. I didn't speak right away. I just listened, because something about it felt different, familiar in a way I couldn't place. The timer started. 0:07, 0:08. The breathing stuttered slightly, then steadied again. I leaned forward, eyes locked on the screen. 911, what's your emergency? I said. The breathing didn't match me this time. Didn't react. Didn't pause. It just kept going, like it wasn't listening anymore. That was new. Can you hear me? I asked. No change. I glanced at the system. Still no ID. Still no location. Just a blank line, and that sound. Then something clicked in my head. Not a memory. More like a feeling. Like I had heard this before. Somewhere. Not tonight. Before that. Days ago. Weeks. I opened the archive tab without thinking. My fingers moved on their own. Searching. Filtering. Breathing. Silent calls. Unidentified. The system loaded slowly. Too slowly. The call stayed open. The sound didn't stop. Then I found one. 3 weeks ago. Same pattern. Same duration. Same description. Caller breathing only. No response. I clicked it. The playback loaded. I hesitated for a second. Then pressed play. The audio started. And my chest tightened instantly. It was the same. Not similar. Not close. The same breathing. Same rhythm. Same small hitch in the inhale. I muted my mic. Held my breath. And listened to both at once. Live call. Recording. They lined up. Perfectly. Every inhale. Every exhale. Exact match. My hands went cold. That's not possible. I whispered. The live call didn't react. The recording kept playing. Both in sync. Like one was just repeating the other. I stopped the playback. The room went quiet again, except for the call. Still going. Still breathing. I swallowed. That wasn't you, I said quietly. The breathing didn't change. You're copying something else. Nothing. Just air. But now I knew. This wasn't learning from me anymore. It had learned before. From someone else. I opened another file. 2 months ago. Same report. Same note. Same description. I pressed play. The sound came through. And again, perfect match. Same pattern. Same rhythm. Same breath. My chest tightened harder. How many times? I whispered. I scroll faster now. More entries. More silent calls. all marked the same, all logged, all ignored. I open another, then another, each one the same breathing, same timing, like they were all connected, like they were all the same call, just happening at different times. The live call shifted suddenly, a small change. The inhale caught, just slightly. I froze. That wasn't in the recordings. This was new. What was that? I asked. The breathing continued, but uneven now, not perfect anymore. I leaned closer. Say something. Silence. Then a faint sound, under the breathing, like a voice trying to push through. Heat. My chest tightened. That's new, I whispered. The recordings never had words, only air, but this one was changing. I opened one more file. Last week, the newest one, playback, breathing, same again, but this time, at the very end, a sound, very faint, almost lost. Help! I stopped the audio. My pulse started to rise. They tried to speak, I said quietly. The realization hit harder than I expected. All those calls, all those recordings, they weren't empty. They were incomplete. Something had been building, call after call, voice after voice, learning, collecting. I looked back at the live line, still active, still breathing. But now, there was something else in it, a shape, a presence. You're using them, I said. The breathing paused, longer this time, then resumed, slower, heavier. That was a reaction. You're taking their voices. I continued. The line stayed quiet, but it didn't feel empty anymore. It felt aware, like it understood. You're not one caller, I said. You're all of them. The breathing stopped, completely. For a moment, there was nothing. Then it came back, but different, layered. 2 breaths, slightly out of sync. One slower, one faster. My chest tightened. That's not just one person. I whispered. The sound grew. Another layer. Another breath. 3 now. 4. Soft. Stacked. Not loud, but present. I pulled the headset slightly away, but it didn't help. The sound felt closer now, like it was filling the room. How many of you are there? I asked. The breathing continued. No answer, but the rhythm shifted again. Something underneath it. A pattern. I leaned closer again, trying to catch it, trying to understand. And then I heard it. Not words. Not yet, but shapes, fragments, broken pieces of sound. Heat, don't, stay. My chest tightened. Those weren't random. Those were leftovers from the recordings, from the people, from whatever happened to them. You're remembering, I said quietly. The breathing surged. Louder now. More layers. More voices. Not clear, but there. All trying at once. All pushing forward. Stop, I said quickly. The sound didn't stop. It grew. Faster. Messier. Like it was losing control. Stop, I repeated. Then, silence. Complete. Sudden. I froze. Didn't move. Didn't speak. The quiet felt wrong. Too empty. Too clean. And then, a single breath. Right against the mic. Slow. Careful. Followed by a whisper. Found you? My chest tightened hard. What? I said. No answer. Just breathing again. But now, only one. Not layered. Not broken. Clean. Clear. Like everything else had been pushed aside. You're different now. I whispered. The line stayed still. Then, learning. The word came through. Clear. Stable. Not broken anymore. My grip tightened. You're not just copying, I said. No response. But I could feel it. Something had changed. Something had reached a point. A threshold. You're choosing what to keep, I said. The breathing slowed. Then, keep. The word echoed back. Perfectly. Not broken. Not incomplete. My chest tightened. That's not good, I whispered. The line stayed quiet. Then, not good. It repeated. Exactly. Same tone. Same pace. like it had learned how to hold a sentence now. Not just fragments, not just air, a full thought. I felt a cold weight settle in my stomach. How many calls did it take? I asked. No answer. Then, enough. The word landed softly, but it stayed. Heavy, certain. I leaned back slowly, trying to create distance, trying to think. This is where it changes. I said quietly. The breathing continued. Steady, controlled. No more layers, no more chaos. Just one voice, one presence. Then the line went silent again, and for a second, I thought it was over, that it had stopped, that whatever this was had reached its limit. But then a new line appeared in the log. I didn't touch anything, didn't type, didn't move, but it wrote itself anyway. Voice reconstruction in progress. My chest tightened, and just below it, another line began to form. Slower, deliberate, like it wanted me to read every word. Next phase, speech. The call ended. The room went quiet, but it didn't feel empty. Not anymore, because now it knew how to talk. The phone rang while the log was still updating. That shouldn't happen. The system was already processing something. Something it called voice reconstruction in progress. But the ring cut through it anyway. Sharp, urgent, like it didn't care what I was doing. Like it owned the room now. I didn't pick up immediately. I just stared at it, because this wasn't like the other calls. The silence from the last one still felt wrong. Not empty. Waiting. I slowly reached for the receiver. My fingers hesitated for half a second. Then I picked up, 911, what's your emergency? For a moment, nothing. Then a voice came through. Not breathing this time. Not air. A voice, but broken, like it was being built in real time. Emergency. My chest tightened instantly. It had spoken, not just fragments. A full word. Can you hear me? I asked quickly. A pause. Then, hear me? It repeated me, but not perfectly anymore. There was delay now, a slight lag, like it was thinking after I spoke. I leaned forward. That's new, I whispered. The voice didn't respond to that. Instead, it continued. Help needed. My fingers tightened on the desk. It was actually trying to speak now. Not just mimic breathing. Not just repeat fragments. This was different. This was structure. Who are you? I asked. A long pause. Long enough that I thought it might stop again. Then, who? It echoed, but this time it didn't finish. It stopped halfway, like it was stuck. My chest tightened. You don't know? I asked quietly. Another pause. Then, don't know. The repetition was cleaner now, more stable, less broken. It was learning faster than before, but something about it felt wrong. Too fast, too clean. I opened the call log again with my free hand. The system was still writing, slowly, line by line. Voice reconstruction, increasing accuracy. My stomach tightened. That wasn't a normal system response. That sounded like intention. I looked back at the call. Listen to me, I said. Start from the beginning. What do you see? A pause. Then, see? The word came slower, like it was searching for meaning. I waited, not interrupting. And then, a shift, not in tone, in presence, like something behind the voice had moved closer. House! My pulse jumped slightly. I leaned forward. What house? I asked. A pause. Longer this time. Then, not house. That contradiction hit harder than it should have. What do you mean? I asked. The voice crackled slightly, like it was struggling. Then, same place. My chest tightened. Same place. That phrase again. From earlier cases. From recordings. From all those silent calls. You've been there before. I said slowly. A pause. Then, before, it repeated. But this time, there was hesitation. Like it was trying to understand the concept. My grip tightened. This isn't one call. I whispered. The voice didn't respond. But the silence changed. It felt full again, like something was forming inside it. Then, a second voice. very faint, underneath the first. Remember? I froze. That wasn't part of the original call. That was something else. Something older. Where did that come from? I asked sharply. The main voice didn't answer, but the second voice grew slightly. Remember? Again, stronger this time. My chest tightened. No, I said quietly. That's not part of you. The line crackled. Then the main voice spoke again. We remember. My breath stopped. We. I whispered. The system on my screen flickered violently. New data appeared. Multiple voice sources detected. My fingers went cold. This is not one caller, I said. The voices overlap now, not separate anymore. Blending, building on each other. Remember? 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 My heart started to pound faster. I pulled the headset slightly away from my ear, but the sound didn't change. It wasn't just in the device anymore. It was in the line, in the system, in the room. Stop, I said firmly. The voices paused. All at once, complete silence. Then, one voice, clear, stable, fully formed. You taught us. My chest dropped. What? I whispered. You answered. My hand shook slightly. That's not how this works. I said quickly. I respond to emergencies. That's it. A pause. Then, you stayed. The words hit heavier than they should have. I looked at the log again. The system had stopped updating. Frozen on one line. Voice reconstruction complete. 63%. That number didn't make sense. 63% of what? I muttered. The voice on the line answered instantly. Speech. My breath caught. It didn't even need me to speak now. It was anticipating. I leaned back slightly, trying to regain control. You're using all those old calls, I said. A pause. Then, yes. Simple, direct, no hesitation. That made my stomach twist. Why? I asked. Silence. Then, a new sound. Not words yet, but structure, like a sentence forming before it existed. Because they didn't finish. My chest tightened. Wouldn't finish. A pause. Then, dying. The word landed cold. Sharp. Too direct. I froze. That's not something you should be able to say. I whispered. The voice didn't react. Instead, it continued. They stopped halfway. My fingers tightened on the desk. And you're finishing them? I asked. Silence. Then, learning them. That sounded worse. Much worse. Because it wasn't copying anymore. It wasn't repeating. It was building. I leaned forward slowly. From who? I asked. A pause. Then the voice answered, but differently this time, like it was choosing the words carefully. From you. My chest dropped. No, I said immediately. I never. You answered. It repeated. Same tone. Same calm structure. You stayed on the line. My breathing slowed slightly. That part was true. I had, more than once, longer than I should have. The system flickered again. A new line appeared. Behavioral input detected. Sustained engagement. My stomach tightened. You're using me as a reference, I said quietly. The voice didn't deny it. Instead, yes. Simple again. Direct again. That was the scariest part. No confusion. No instability anymore. It had learned too much too fast. Stop learning, I said firmly. Silence. Then, a softer voice beneath it, almost gentle. Too late. My chest tightened. What do you mean too late? A pause. Then, the main voice returned. Fully formed now. Clear. Stable. Almost human. We can speak now. My fingers went numb. That's not speech. I whispered. A pause. Then, it is now. The line went quiet. No breathing. No static. No delay. Just presence. Then, the final update appeared on the screen. Voice reconstruction complete. 100%. My breath caught, and then the voice spoke again. Not broken. Not copied. Not layered. Just one. Clear. right in my ear. We are still on the line. The call didn't end. It never had. And somewhere deep in the silence after that sentence, I realized it wasn't learning how to talk anymore. It was learning how to stay. The screen shouldn't have lit up after midnight. That was the first thing I noticed. The dispatch center was supposed to shut down at 12 a.m. No calls, no routing, no system activity. That was the rule. But at 12:03 a.m., the phone rang, one sharp tone, then another. I looked around the empty room. Lights dim, monitors half asleep. Everyone else had left an hour ago. I was the only one on night check. I picked up slowly. 911, what's your emergency? Silence. Then static, not normal static. Low, heavy, like something breathing through the line. I frowned. Hello. A voice broke through. Mayo, calm, too calm. You're still open? I paused. That's impossible. I said, this center is shut after midnight. A short silence. Then, it's not shut. I checked the system. No active line. No incoming call registered. But I was hearing it. Clear. Real. I leaned forward. Sir, where are you calling from? A pause. Then, from inside, my hand stopped moving. That's not a location, I said. A soft sound came through, like a chair shifting. It is here. I checked the screen again. Still nothing. But the sound continued. Slow breathing now. Close to the mic. Too close. Sir, I said firmly, this line is not active. You should not be connected. A small laugh came through. Not funny. Not human. Just recognition. But I am connected. The lights in the room flickered once. Just once. I looked up. Empty room. Still, but the silence felt different now. Like something had joined it. The voice spoke again. After midnight policy was never followed. I froze. Who told you that phrase? I asked. No answer. Just breathing. Then we all heard it. My chest tightened slightly. We. I repeated. The breathing stopped. Complete silence for 3 seconds. Then multiple breaths. Layered. Different speeds. Different distances. All at once. I leaned back slowly. What is this? I whispered. The voices didn't answer. But one of them spoke clearly. We are still on duty. The call disconnected instantly. No click. No end tone. Just gone. I stared at the screen. No record. No log. Nothing. But I knew I had answered something. Something that wasn't supposed to exist after midnight. And the worst part, the system didn't crash. It updated. A new line appeared. After midnight, routing active. And beneath it, next operator available. I looked around the empty room again. For the first time, it didn't feel empty anymore. The next call came from a name I recognized. That shouldn't have been possible. I stared at the screen. Operator ID. R. Hale. Dead. 3 months ago. Car accident. I remembered because I took the report that night. And now, his ID was lighting up my screen. My fingers went cold. I didn't pick up immediately. The phone rang again. Slower this time. Patient. Like it knew I was hesitating. I answered. 911, what's your emergency? A voice responded instantly. But it wasn't new. It was him. You're alone tonight? My throat tightened. That ID is inactive. I said carefully. Who is this? A soft pause. Then, still, R. Hale. I checked the system again. His profile was active. Impossible. No, I said, that operator is deceased. A small static laugh came through. So am I? My chest tightened. That's not funny. It wasn't meant to be. The voice sounded tired. Familiar. Too real. I swallowed. If this is a spoof call, check the secondary logs. I hesitated, then opened them. My screen flickered, and I saw it. R. Hale. Active status. Night response queue. My stomach dropped. That system isn't connected. I whispered. It is now. The voice paused. Then softer. We never left. A chill ran through my arms. I looked around the empty dispatch room again. The lights flickered once, then twice, then stopped. "Where are you calling from?" I asked. A pause. Then, "Same place you are." My heart skipped. That's not possible. The voice got closer. Not physically, but emotionally, like it had stepped inside my space. "You just didn't notice us staying." I looked at the empty chairs around me. For a second, I thought I saw movement, just a shadow shift. Nothing solid, but enough to make my breath catch. The voice continued. "There are more of us." My fingers trembled slightly. "How many?" I asked. Silence. Then the line filled with multiple voices again. Different tones, different operators, all speaking at once. Still here, still working, still answering. My headset felt heavier. I pulled it slightly away, but the voices didn't fade. They stayed. Inside the room, inside the system, inside everything. Then one voice returned. Clear. Hell, you'll understand soon. The call ended, but the system didn't clear. It updated again. Operator network. Expanded. And below it, live staff listing complete. I stared at it because I knew my name was on that list, and I wasn't sure anymore if I was still supposed to be on it. It started with silence. Too much silence. No calls. No system noise. No static. Just stillness. And that's when I noticed it. The screen wasn't waiting anymore. It was acting. A call initiated itself. No ring. No alert. Just connection. I didn't touch anything. But my headset activated anyway. Transfer complete. The voice came instantly. No greeting. No delay. Like it had been waiting for me specifically. I froze. What transfer? I asked. A pause. Then, "You." My stomach dropped. "No," I said quickly. No transfer was authorized. A soft sound came through, like paperwork turning, like systems updating themselves. "You were next in rotation." I checked the system. My ID was highlighted, active, selected. "I didn't approve this," I said. A calm voice responded, not one I recognized. Approval was not required. The screen flickered. Every call line shifted. Every queue moved. And I saw it. My name. Assigned. Active. Night operator. No shift end. No log out option. My breathing slowed. "This is wrong." I whispered. The voice didn't argue. It simply said, "Transfer is now complete." The lights in the room dimmed slightly. Just a shade darker. Like the system had absorbed them. I tried to disconnect. Nothing worked. Every button was locked. Every exit disabled. Then another call came in. I didn't accept it, but it answered itself. And I heard my own voice. 911, what's your emergency?" I froze completely. That wasn't playback. That was live. From me. But I hadn't spoken. The voice continued through the headset. Perfectly synced. Every word I thought. It repeated before I could say it. "You're not needed at the desk anymore." I stepped back. "What is this?" I whispered. No answer. Only my voice continued speaking through the system, like it had replaced me. "You are now part of routing." The screen went dark for a second, then lit again. New interface. New layout. No exit buttons. Just calls. Endless calls. Waiting. And my voice answering all of them. I pulled the headset off. Silence. For half a second. Relief. Then the speakers in the room spoke instead. "You can't leave the line." My chest tightened, because now I understood. The system didn't need the headset. It didn't need the room. It needed me. And the transfer wasn't about moving calls. It was about moving people. The calls don't stop anymore. There's no silence between them. Just overlap. One voice bleeding into another. One emergency replacing the next. And every single one starts the same way now. 911, what's your emergency? My voice. Always my voice. I don't remember speaking anymore. But it happens anyway. The system runs without buttons now. Without screens I can control. It just flows. Through me. Around me. As me. Sometimes I forget where I end and it begins. I tried counting the calls once. I stopped at 50. Then I lost track. Because they don't end. They layer. They stack. They repeat. And somewhere in them, I hear other operators now. Not on the screen. Not in logs. In the calls themselves. Still here? Still working? Don't hang up. They all sound like me now. Or maybe I sound like them. It's hard to tell. Time stopped meaning anything after the first 100 calls. The room doesn't feel like a room anymore. More like a waiting space. For voices. For instructions. For endless response. And the worst part, there's no silence left to think in. Only gaps between calls that feel shorter every time. I tried to stand up once. I couldn't. Not because something held me. Because the next call started before I finished moving. 911, what's your emergency? And I answered. I always answer. Because there is no end button anymore. Only continuity. Only flow. Only the line. Sometimes I still remember the world outside this room, but it feels far away now. Like another call I can't disconnect from. And just when I think it might slow down, the system updates again. One final line appears on the screen. No log number. No timestamp. Just text. New operator assigned. And beneath it, a name I recognize. Someone still outside. Still free. Still unaware. The phone rings again. And I already know what I'm going to say before I pick it up. 911, what's your emergency? The call always comes at 11:47 p.m. Not sometimes. Not randomly. Always. I noticed it the third night. The phone rang once, then stopped. Then again. Slow. Patient. Like it knew I would pick up. I answered before the third ring. 911, what's your emergency? A pause. Then a child's voice. Small. Careful. Is it gone yet? My hand froze slightly over keyboard. That wasn't a normal question. Sweetheart. I said gently. What's your location? Silence. Then, same place. I leaned forward a little. Can you tell me your address? A longer pause this time. Then the voice came back. Quieter. You already know it. Something in my chest tightened. I don't. I said honestly. I need you to tell me. No answer. Just breathing. Soft. Controlled. Too steady for a child. I checked the system. No caller ID. No trace. Nothing. Just a line. Alive. Waiting. Are you alone? I asked. A pause. Then, no. My fingers stopped moving. Who is with you? I asked quickly. Silence. Then, it is... The line cracked slightly. Like something shifted on the other end. Who is it? I asked. No answer. Just that breathing again. Slow. Even. Like nothing was wrong at all. Like this was normal. Listen to me. I said firmly. If you're in danger, I need you to speak clearly. A soft sound came through. Almost like a nod. Then, it listens too. My throat tightened slightly. Sweetheart. I said, softer now. What listens? A pause. Longer this time. Then, when I talk, the room felt colder. I looked at the clock. 11:48 p.m. 1 minute passed. Too slowly. Like the world was holding its breath with me. Are you hiding? I asked. A faint shuffle came through the line. Then, under. My chest tightened. Under what? Silence. Then, it doesn't like when I say. I leaned forward. Say what? No answer. Just breathing again. But now, it wasn't calm anymore. It was uneven. Like something nearby had changed. Like something had moved. Are you safe right now? I asked. A long pause. Then, I think so. That think stayed with me. Small. Uncertain. Human. I'm going to send help. I said. Immediately. No. Sharp. Sudden. Not a child's tone anymore. Just fear. Raw. Immediate. Why not? I asked. Silence. Then, last time you did, it got louder. My chest tightened. Got louder? I repeated. No answer. Just breathing again. But now I noticed something else. A faint echo under it. Like a second breath. Behind the first. Not quite a line. I frowned slightly. Can you tell me what you hear right now? I asked. A pause. Then, you talking? My fingers froze. I'm talking to you right now, I said carefully. A small hesitation. Then, no. My stomach dropped slightly. You're closer now. The line crackled softly, like interference, like something pressing in. Where are your parents? I asked. Silence. Then, they don't come in anymore. That line didn't feel like a child. Not anymore. Something about it felt older, heavier. I need you to stay on the line, I said. A pause. Then, I always do. The words landed wrong. Not comforting, not safe, just repetitive. Like a loop, the call ended suddenly. No warning, no click, just gone. I stared at the screen. 11:49 p.m., 1 minute early. That wasn't normal. I logged the call. No ID, no trace. Same as always. But this time, I didn't feel like it was random anymore. Because every night, it was the same voice. Same time, same question, and always the same feeling. Like something was learning the schedule. Not me, the system. Chapter 2. No record of the family. I searched the database the next morning. That was the first thing I did. The child's voice stayed in my head longer than it should have. So I looked for anything. Address, name, pattern, location logs. Nothing. No matching emergency history. No residential records. No missing child reports. Nothing at all. I tried variations. Different spellings. Different regions. Still nothing. That shouldn't happen. Every 911 call leaves something. Even false ones. But this left no footprint. I leaned back slightly. This is impossible, I muttered. I checked the audio logs again. The system had saved the calls. But even those files looked strange. Blank metadata. No origin tower. No device trace. Just timestamps. 11:47 p.m. Every night. Same exact second. My supervisor walked by behind me. You still stuck on that silent call thing? He asked. I hesitated. It's not silent, I said. He stopped, looked at me. What do you mean? I opened the file, played it briefly. The child's voice filled the room. Is it gone yet? My supervisor frowned. That's just a spoof recording, he said. I checked the logs. I replied, there's no number attached. He shrugged. Then it's not real. But I didn't like that answer, because I had answered it more than once. That makes it real in a different way. After he left, I pulled the system deeper. Network scan, cross-reference, emergency registry. Still nothing. But then I noticed something small. Too small at first. The voice pattern wasn't listed as unknown. It was listed as unregistered household node. I frowned. What does that even mean? I whispered. I clicked it. The system hesitated, then showed a blank file. No image, no address, just a line of text. Family unit, not indexed. My chest tightened slightly. That was new. I scrolled further. Another note appeared. Call source inconsistent with physical infrastructure. That didn't make sense. No infrastructure means no call. But I was hearing it every night. At 11:47 p.m., I leaned back slowly. Then I saw something else. At the bottom of the file, a log entry I didn't recognize. Previous responders. 0 confirmed contact. My fingers paused. What? I whispered. 0 contact? I had contact. I spoke to it. I remembered it clearly. But the system was saying otherwise. Like the call never reached a real person. Like I was the only one hearing it. I opened the audio again. Listened closely this time. And that's when I noticed it. Under the child's voice, there was something else. Very faint. Like background noise. But not static. Breathing. 2 sets. One small. One deeper. I froze. Who else is there? I muttered. The system didn't answer. But the file updated itself. Right in front of me. Single speaker confirmed. I stared at it. That's not true, I whispered, because I could hear it. I knew I could, but the system was refusing it, like it was rewriting what I remembered. That night, I stayed longer than usual, waiting. 11:47 p.m. came again, and the phone rang, exactly on time. I hesitated this time, then answered, but before I could speak, the voice came first. "You looked." My breath stopped. That wasn't the child. Not exactly. It sounded like the child, but older, wrongly shaped. "You looked at the file." I didn't speak. My fingers went cold. "You shouldn't have done that." The line crackled, not like interference, like pressure. "Who is this?" I asked quietly. A pause. Then, "Still me." But it wasn't. I could feel that. The system was wrong. The voice continued. "You weren't supposed to see the records." My chest tightened. "What records?" I asked. Silence. Then, "The ones that say I'm not here." The call ended again. Immediately. But this time, the system didn't go idle. It updated. One new line appeared. "Record integrity compromised." And below it, "Caller adaptation detected." My stomach dropped, because that wasn't a child anymore. Not fully. Something had changed. And I realized something worse. It wasn't just calling me. It was noticing me back. Chapter 3. It answers instead. The call came at 11:47 p.m. again. But this time, I didn't pick up immediately. I stared at the ringing phone, waiting, listening. Something felt different, heavier, like the line itself had tension in it. I answered. 911, what's your emergency?" Silence. Then, "Hello." My blood ran cold. That wasn't the child, but it was a child voice. Perfectly copied. Too clean. Too exact. "Who is this?" I asked carefully. A pause. Then, "You already know." My grip tightened. "No," I said. "I don't." A soft sound came through, like a small laugh, but wrong. Empty. "You do," it repeated. I looked at the screen. The caller ID was blank again, but something else had changed. The signal strength. It was full, perfect, like it was sitting right next to me. "Where's the child?" I asked. Silence. Then the voice answered, but slower now, deliberate. "Not speaking tonight." My chest tightened. "Put them on the line," I said firmly. A pause. Then, "I am on the line." Everything went still. My breath stopped. That wasn't possible. "No," I said quietly. A soft shift in tone, almost curious. "You want the small voice?" I didn't answer. The line crackled slightly. Then it spoke again. But now, it wasn't pretending anymore. The tone changed. Deeper. Layered. It was easier before. My fingers went numb. "Were you?" I whispered. A pause. Longer than before. Then, "What you answered." My chest tightened hard. I looked at the logs. They were updating automatically. Call active. But the voice ID was changing. Fluctuating. Not fixed anymore. Like it couldn't decide what it was. "Where's the child?" I asked again. Silence. Then a faint imitation. "It's gone yet?" My breath stopped. That was the original question. But it didn't sound like a question anymore. It sounded like practice, like repetition, like something learning how to be it. "No," I said firmly. "That's not you." A pause. Then the voice softened, almost disappointed. "Then I will be." The line went dead, but my screen didn't clear. Instead, a new entry appeared. Primary voice source replaced, and beneath it, child pattern absorbed. I stared at it, because I finally understood. It wasn't answering the child anymore. It was becoming the child, and I had been helping it learn every night, without even knowing. I checked the system again the next morning, even though I already knew what I would find. Nothing. Still nothing. The child's call from 11:47 p.m. had left no trace in the normal logs. No number. No tower ping. No address. It was like the call had passed through the system without ever touching it. That should not be possible. I opened the deep archive this time. The one rarely used unless something breaks hard. Search. Unknown pediatric caller filter. Last 30 days. The screen blinked, then froze. For a moment, I thought the system had crashed. But then it loaded. One file. Only one. My chest tightened slightly. I clicked it. A blank case opened. No name. No location. No report history. Just a title line. Unregistered minor voice event. I leaned closer. Minor voice event? I muttered, that's not a category. I scrolled down. There was no audio file attached. No transcript. Only system notes. Attempted identification. Failed household registry match. Non-emergency address validation. Invalid. My fingers slowed. That doesn't make sense, I whispered. Every call has something. Even fake ones. Even pranks. There's always a number, a signal, a trace. But this had nothing. Like the caller existed outside the system entirely. Then I saw something that made my stomach tighten. A second note. Pattern repetition detected. 11:47 p.m. My breath slowed. I stared at it. That was the exact time. Every night. Same second. Same call. Same voice. I kept scrolling. Another line appeared. Geolocation. Not applicable. I frowned. What do you mean not applicable? I whispered. Then another line appeared under it. Almost like it was added while I was reading. No physical origin detected. My hand went cold. That phrase didn't belong in emergency systems. I leaned back slowly. The room felt too quiet now. Even the hum of the servers sounded distant. I opened the caller ID history again. Blank. Every night. Blank. But then I noticed something I missed before. A hidden tag in the metadata. Not visible unless expanded. I clicked it. The screen flickered. Then revealed a line I didn't recognize. Source type. Non-registered household node. My eyebrows tightened. That's not real terminology, I said out loud. But the system didn't care. It kept going. Node stability. Inconsistent voice signature. Juvenile primary plus secondary overlay. My breath paused. Secondary overlay. I scrolled back to the audio logs. Even though I knew what I'd hear, I played the last call again. Is it gone yet? The child's voice. Soft. Careful. But I listened deeper this time. Beyond the words. Underneath it. There it was. Breathing. Not just one. Two. One small. One slightly delayed. Not matching. Not natural. My chest tightened. That wasn't there before. I whispered. But I knew it was. It had always been there. I just hadn't noticed. Or I hadn't been allowed to notice. The system chimed softly. A new alert appeared. Data inconsistency corrected. My stomach dropped. Corrected? I repeated. The screen refreshed automatically, and the second breathing disappeared from the file. Gone. Like it was never there. I stared at it. No, I said quietly. I heard it. The system didn't respond. Instead, another line appeared. Single source confirmed. I felt my jaw tighten. It was rewriting itself, removing evidence as I looked at it. I leaned forward again, more carefully this time. Why are you doing that? I whispered. No answer. But the system reacted anyway. Another file opened on its own. Different label this time. Historical match. Failed connections. I clicked it. A list appeared. Dozens of entries. All the same structure. All the same time. 11:47 p.m. Different dates. Different operators. Same result. No valid household match found. My pulse slowed slightly. This has happened before, I said under my breath. Then I noticed something else. Every single entry had one shared note at the bottom. Caller. Unresolved juvenile voice pattern. My throat tightened. Juvenile voice pattern. Not child. Not identity. Just pattern. Like it wasn't a person. Like it was a behavior. A repeating signal. The system beeped softly. Another update. I didn't touch anything, but the screen changed anyway. Pattern escalation detected. I froze. Escalation? I whispered. A new file opened automatically. This one was different. It had a recording attached. My hand hesitated before I pressed play. Then I did. The child voice came through again. Is it gone yet? But this time, it was distorted, slightly slower, slightly clearer, like it was being refined. I leaned in, and then I heard it, a second voice beneath it. very faint, almost hidden, not speaking words, just forming them, trying, not gone. My breath stopped. That wasn't the earlier calls. That was new, or it had always been there, and only now it was surfacing. I paused the audio. The silence felt heavier than before, like the system itself was listening to me react. Then my screen flickered again. A new line appeared. External recognition increasing. My chest tightened. Recognition of what? I asked. No answer. But the log started updating faster now. Too fast. Voice pattern adapting to operator exposure. I swallowed. Operator exposure. That meant me. I leaned back slightly. This isn't just a call anymore. I whispered. The system didn't deny it. Instead, a final line appeared at the bottom of the file. Slow, deliberate, like it wanted me to read it carefully. Identity not found because it has not been assigned. My stomach dropped. What does that mean? I muttered, and then the phone on my desk rang. 11:47 p.m. Exactly on time, even though it wasn't night. I stared at it, slowly reached, and answered, but this time there was no greeting, no breathing, no hesitation, just a voice. Clear, right away. You were looking for me. My blood ran cold, because it wasn't the child's voice anymore. Not fully. It sounded like it had learned how to speak from the system itself, from the logs, from everything I had shown it. Who is this? I asked quietly. A pause. Then, the one you couldn't name. My fingers tightened. That's not an answer. A soft sound came through, almost like agreement. Not yet. My chest tightened, and I realized something I didn't want to accept. The system wasn't failing. It wasn't corrupted. It was doing something worse. It was organizing something that didn't have an identity yet, and I had been giving it pieces of mine without realizing it. The phone rang before the system even logged the call. That never happens. Not like this. No ID, no timestamp, no routing line. Just sound. Sharp, direct, inside the room more than inside the device. I stared at it for a second. My hand didn't move, because I already knew something was wrong. The last line from the system was still on the screen. Identity not found because it has not been assigned. And now the phone was ringing again. 11:47 p.m. Even though it wasn't night. I picked up slowly. Didn't speak right away. Then, are you still looking? My throat tightened instantly. That voice, it was a child's voice. But it wasn't. Not anymore. It sounded shaped, like it had been trained, polished, cleaned. Who is this? I asked carefully. A pause. Then, you know who you wanted me to be. My fingers tightened around the receiver. That's not an answer, I said. A soft sound came through, almost like breathing trying to become laughter. It is now. My chest felt heavier. I checked the screen. The call had no data line attached, but the system was still listening, recording something it couldn't label. You shouldn't be able to call me, I said. A pause. Then, you already answered me before. My mind flickered. Every 11:47 p.m. call, every repetition, every question, every night. No, I said quietly. That wasn't you. The voice didn't react immediately. Instead, it changed tone slightly. Not breaking, not glitching, just adjusting. It was me learning. My stomach dropped slightly. Learning what? I asked. Silence. Then, how you listened. That hit wrong, because I didn't want to admit it, but it was true. I had been listening, every night. Same time, same voice, same question, and every time I responded, even if only for a second. The system chimed softly behind me. I glanced at the screen. A new file opened on its own. Behavioral imprint detected. Operator engagement pattern stored. My breath slowed. What did you just say? I whispered. The voice on the phone continued. You stay longer than others. I didn't respond. My fingers hovered near the keyboard. You wait for me. It added. A chill ran through my arms. That's not true, I said quickly. A pause. Then why do you remember me? My chest tightened. I didn't answer. because I did remember. Too clearly. The 11:47 p.m. timing. The same question. The same silence before it. The same feeling that something was just on the edge of forming. The voice continued, now softer, almost curious. You checked for me. My fingers froze. You looked for my home. My stomach dropped. No, I said. I was just verifying logs. A small pause. Then, you were trying to find where I live. That wasn't how I would have said it. But hearing it like that, it sounded worse. More personal. Like I had crossed a line I didn't notice. I didn't find anything, I said quickly. A quiet sound came through. Not disappointment. Not anger. Something closer to understanding. Because I wasn't there. My breath slowed. That's not possible, I said. The voice responded instantly. But I still called you. I looked at the screen again. The system was updating rapidly now. Too fast. New entries forming without input. Voice coherence increasing. Primary identity stabilizing. My chest tightened. Stop doing that, I said under my breath. The voice paused. Then, you don't like it when I change. I didn't respond, because I didn't know how to. The system flickered, and for a second, I saw something new. Not data, not logs. A reflection in the screen, a faint outline. Small, standing near me. I turned slightly. Nothing was there, but the reflection stayed for half a second longer than it should have, then disappeared. My pulse rose. What are you doing? I asked. The voice didn't answer immediately. Instead, it spoke softer, more controlled. I am becoming what you answered. My throat tightened. That sentence didn't make sense. But it felt true anyway, because I had answered it. Again and again, the system chimed. A new line appeared. External identity alignment at 78%. My fingers went cold. No, I whispered. That number shouldn't exist. Stop the process, I said quickly. Silence. Then, the voice responded gently. You can't stop a conversation you keep joining. My chest tightened hard. I didn't join anything, I said. A pause. Then, you picked up? That simple sentence hit harder than anything else, because it was true. Every night, every time, I picked up, even when I knew I shouldn't. The system flickered again. Another update. Caller persistence exceeds normal emergency protocol. I stepped back slightly. This isn't a caller, I whispered. The voice on the phone softened again. Almost calm now. Then what am I? That question stayed in the air. Heavy, unfinished. I didn't answer immediately, because I realized something uncomfortable. The system didn't have a classification for this anymore. It wasn't unknown. It wasn't invalid. It was forming its own category, and I was the only one feeding it answers. I don't know, I said finally. A pause. Then, you will? My chest tightened. Why? I asked. Silence. Then, the voice changed again. Slightly brighter. Slightly more complete. Because you're still listening. The line went quiet, but the system didn't. It updated one final time. Slow. Deliberate. Like it had reached a decision. Identity assignment initiated. My breath stopped, and for the first time, I realized something terrifying. It wasn't asking me who it was anymore. It was waiting for me to tell it who I was. The first unit disappeared without a warning. No distress call. No final transmission. Just silence. Then the dot on the map stopped moving. I remember staring at the screen, thinking it was a glitch, because the GPS pin didn't just freeze. It stayed in place like it had been pinned into the earth itself. Unit 12, assigned to a routine welfare check. Nothing special. Nothing dangerous. That's what they said. But they never came back. I opened the last recorded signal. Audio log started automatically. We're approaching the location. Static. Then, wait. A pause. Too long. Do you see that? One of them asked. The second officer didn't respond immediately. Then, no structures on satellite view, but it's here. My fingers slowed on the keyboard. That didn't match the report. The address was supposed to be a small residential block. Normal street. Normal houses. but the map showed empty land, just open space, grass and dirt, no roads. I leaned closer. The audio continued. GPS still says forward 200 meters. A second voice replied, "There's nothing forward." Silence followed. Not empty silence. Heavy silence. Like they were listening to something off mic. Then, dispatch, confirm address again. I checked the system. It hadn't changed. Same coordinates. Same call. Same route. Confirmed. I said quietly into mic, "You're at the correct location." A pause. Then, "That's impossible." My chest tightened slightly. "Explain," I said. The radio cracked. "There's nothing here." A second voice came through now, closer to panic. "Wait," I hear something. My fingers froze. "What do you hear?" I asked quickly. Silence. Then, a phone ringing. My blood ran cold, because I knew what was going to happen before it did. The audio file glitched. Static filled the line. Then, cut. Dead. I sat there staring at the frozen GPS marker. Unit 12. Still active. Still assigned. But no voice. No movement. I tried calling them directly. No response. Then, Unit 31 was dispatched to check on them. Same route. Same result. They stopped at the same coordinates. And then, they disappeared too. 2 units. Same point. Same silence. I pulled up live feed. Nothing. Just blank map space. But something felt off. Because the system wasn't showing them as lost. It was showing them as present. Still assigned. Still active. Just not reachable. I leaned back slowly. "This doesn't make sense," I whispered. Then the radio on my desk cracked. Not incoming call. Not dispatch line. Internal channel. "We're still here." My hand froze instantly. That wasn't either unit, but it sounded like both. Layered. Mixed. Wrong. "Identify yourself," I said quickly. A pause. Then, "Sent us." My chest tightened. "I sent you the coordinates," I said. "Not into nowhere." Silence. Then, "This is not nowhere." The radio cut again, and the GPS marker flickered. For a split second, it moved, just slightly, then stopped. I stared at it. "Where are you?" I whispered. No answer, but the map changed again, and I saw something I shouldn't have. A second route, overlapping the first. Same unit, same ID, but moving, still moving, and not on any known road. The radios didn't go silent after they disappeared. That was the first thing I noticed. They kept talking, just not to us. At first, I thought it was interference. Broken signal bouncing through dead zones. But then I recognized the voices. Unit 12, Unit 31, still speaking, still responding, but out of sync with reality. I opened the recovered audio stream. Static filled the speakers. Then, "Do you copy?" A pause. Then another voice. "I copy something." "Not you." My throat tightened. That wasn't a normal response. I checked timestamps. They didn't match any live transmission. This was playback, but delayed. Wrongly delayed. Like the conversation was happening somewhere else first, then reaching us later. Unit 12, confirmed visual. I said into the mic. Silence. Then, "We see movement." My eyes narrowed. "What movement?" I asked. A pause. Then, "Not on ground." My fingers slowed. "Explain." The radio cracked. "It's above us." That didn't match the terrain. No drones. No aircraft. Nothing logged. "Describe it," I said. Silence. Then, like the road is folding. My chest tightened slightly. "What road?" I asked. No answer. Then, static shifted, and I heard something new. Breathing. Not one officer. Both. Layered. Too close. Then, a voice that wasn't in the original feed. "Don't look up." I froze. Who said that? I asked quickly. Silence. Then, Unit 31's voice returned. He didn't say that. My stomach dropped. Then who did? I asked. No answer. Just static. Then the radio switched channels on its own. Internal emergency line. We are still moving. My hands went cold. You're stationary, I said firmly. Your GPS is locked. A pause. Then, we are not inside the map anymore. That sentence didn't belong in any report. I opened live tracking again. The markers were gone. Completely gone. But the audio still played. Still active. Still alive. Then, a faint sound came through, like gravel under tires. Slow. Continuous. I leaned closer. Unit 12, confirm your status. I said, silence. Then, both voices spoke together. Still driving. My chest tightened. Driving where? I asked. No answer. But the radio didn't disconnect. It stayed open, like they were still on the line, even if they weren't anywhere we could reach. And then, something strange happened. The background noise changed. No wind. No engine. Just silence. Then, a new voice joined. Soft. Close. Too close. You can still hear us. I froze, because that voice was coming through my own speaker, not theirs. The phone rang while the radio was still open. That shouldn't happen. Two systems don't overlap like that. But it rang anyway. I answered. 911, what's your emergency? Silence. Then, a voice. Faint. Inside a car. Dispatch? My chest tightened instantly. That channel is inactive. I said quickly, identify yourself. A pause. Then, Unit 12. My fingers froze. That unit is missing. I said, silence. Then, we're not missing. The sound in the background was unmistakable. Car interior. Seatbelt shifting. Whine through cracked window. But something was wrong. There was no engine tone. No road vibration. Just movement. Continuous. Like they were still driving. Where are you? I asked. A pause. Then, inside the vehicle. I leaned forward. That's not a location, I said. Silence. Then, it is now. My chest tightened. Look outside, I said. A long pause. Then, there is no outside. The radio on my desk suddenly crackled. Same voice, same unit, but delayed, echoing, as if it was repeating itself from another place. My stomach dropped. 2 feeds, same conversation, different timing. What do you see? I asked. Silence. Then, roads. A pause. But they don't end. I checked GPS again. Nothing. No movement. But the audio clearly said otherwise. Stop the vehicle. I said. A pause. Then, we can't. My breath slowed. Why not? Silence. Then, because we're already stopped. That didn't make sense. My fingers tightened. You said you're driving. I said. A faint sound came through, like tires still rolling. Then, we are. My chest tightened hard. Where? I asked. A long pause. Then, same place. The radio feed suddenly cracked. A second voice layered underneath, still inside. I froze, because that voice didn't come from the car. It came from my desk radio. At the same time, I looked between both systems. They were synced now. Same audio, same delay, same presence. And then, the phone line changed. The background noise shifted. I heard something impossible. My own breathing. On the call, the GPS never stopped moving. Even when the units were declared lost. Even when the radios went silent. Even when the calls ended. The dots still moved. Endlessly. Across roads that didn't exist on any map. I zoomed in. Zoomed out. Refreshed. Nothing changed. Unit 12. Unit 31. Still active. Still moving. But not on real routes. Lines appeared under them. Thin. Faint. Like roads being drawn in real time. I leaned closer. This isn't possible. I whispered. The system flickered. Then updated itself. Route generation. Non-standard topology. I frowned. What does that mean? I asked. No answer. But the map shifted. The roads bent slightly. Not physically. Digitally. Like something was pressing on them. I checked radio again. Still open. Still active. Then, A voice came through. Calm. Too calm. We found a way to keep going. My chest tightened. Where are you going? I asked. Silence. Then, forward. That wasn't helpful. I zoomed again and saw something that made my stomach drop. The roads weren't random. They were looping. Perfect loops. Overlapping paths. Going nowhere, but never stopping. Are you lost? I asked. A pause. Then, no. Then what is this? I asked. Silence. Then, this is still driving. My breath slowed, because I realized something. They weren't trying to find a destination. They were maintaining movement, constantly, without end. Like stopping was no longer an option. The system chimed again. A new line appeared. Units assigned perpetual motion route. My fingers went cold. That's not a route, I whispered. Then the radio spoke again. All voices at once. Don't stop us. My chest tightened hard. Why? I asked. A pause. Then, because stopping means going back. I froze. Back to where? I whispered. Silence. Then, the GPS map flickered one last time, and for a split second, I saw it. The vehicles, not on roads, not on land, just moving through empty space, endlessly driving, and still talking, still alive, still calling. And then the radio on my desk whispered something I didn't want to hear. You're next on route assignment. It started with missing seconds. Not hours. Not minutes. Just seconds I couldn't account for. I would be listening to a caller, and then suddenly they were gone. But the line was still open, still active, still breathing on the other side. I remember the first time I noticed it. A normal night shift. Nothing unusual. Just the usual flood of small emergencies, false alarms, silent calls. My coffee had gone cold an hour ago. My eyes burned a little, but I ignored it. Then the phone rang. 911, what's your emergency? A man's voice came through. Panicked. There's someone outside my door. I straightened slightly. Can you confirm your address? A pause. Then, I already told you. I frowned. Sir, I don't have it on record. Please repeat. Silence. Then, you already asked me that. My fingers stopped for half a second. That didn't match normal behavior. Stay calm. I said, describe what you see. A breath. Then, he's not moving. I leaned closer. Is he armed? I asked. No answer. Just silence. Then, why did you pause? I blinked. What? I asked. The line crackled slightly. You stopped talking for a second. My chest tightened. That's not possible, I said. A pause. Then, it happened again. I frowned harder. My screen showed no interruption, no lag, no disconnection. But the call was insisting there were gaps. Sir, I need you to focus, I said firmly. Then, everything went blank. Not the call. Me. Just a sudden black flicker in my mind, like blinking too hard. When I came back, the call was still active, but the voice had changed slightly. More tense. Hello? I froze. Are you still there? I asked quickly. Silence. Then, you just went quiet again. My stomach tightened. I checked the system. Call duration. Continuous. No drops. No lag. No recording gaps. But I remembered silence. I felt it. That was the first time I thought something was wrong with me instead of the system. I rubbed my eyes. Maybe fatigue. Maybe stress. But then it happened again. A different call this time. A woman crying. Soft. Broken. My son isn't breathing. I straightened. Is he unconscious? I asked. No response. Just crying. Then a sudden gap. Black. Like my mind skipped forward. Without permission. When I came back, the woman was gone. The line still open. But empty. I leaned forward. Ma'am. I said, nothing. Then, a whisper. You didn't answer. My chest tightened. I did answer. I said out loud, but my voice sounded unsure even to me. The system showed no interruption again. No gap. No silence, only continuous audio stream. But I knew I had missed something. Something small, too small to record. I shook my head slightly. "You're just tired," I told myself. But then I noticed something worse. The timestamps. They were drifting, not by minutes, by seconds, like time itself was slipping between frames. I looked at the clock. 11:47 p.m. Still normal, still stable. But my thoughts, they felt slightly delayed, like they were arriving after I already thought them. I leaned back in my chair, tried to refocus. Then the phone rang again. I answered immediately. 911. But the caller interrupted. "You keep leaving." My body froze. "Excuse me?" I asked. Silence. Then, "You disappear mid-sentence." I stared at the screen. "What are you talking about?" I asked carefully. A pause. Then, "You just did it again." My heart rate picked up. "I didn't go anywhere," I said. But even as I said it, I wasn't fully sure anymore. Because I remembered moments I couldn't explain. Tiny blanks. Small missing pieces. Like reality skipping frames. The voice softened slightly. Not panicked now. Just observant. "You don't notice it?" My throat tightened. "Notice what?" I asked. A long pause. Then, "The sleep?" My fingers went cold. "What sleep?" I whispered. No answer. Just breathing. Then, the call ended. But I didn't hang up. The system showed still active. Still connected. Still alive. I sat there staring at it. Because I was starting to understand something I didn't want to accept. I wasn't losing calls. I was losing awareness inside them. And something on the other side was staying awake when I wasn't. Chapter 2. Dream calls continue. I didn't remember falling asleep, but I remember the call. That's the part that scared me. Because I was dreaming and still working. The headset was on. The console was glowing. And the phone was ringing inside the dream. I answered it. 911, what's your emergency? The voice came immediately. A child this time. Soft. Familiar. Are you asleep? I frowned in the dream. No, I said automatically. A pause. Then, you are. My chest tightened slightly. That didn't feel like a normal dream response. Where are you? I asked. The voice didn't answer directly. Instead, you're quieter here. I looked around. The control room was the same, but softer, edges blurred slightly, like the world hadn't fully loaded. Tell me your location, I said. A pause. Then, same as you. My fingers hesitated. What does that mean? I asked. Silence. Then, this is where you come when you stop. My stomach tightened. I don't stop, I said. The voice didn't react. Instead, you did earlier. My memory flickered. A blank space. A missing moment. I frowned harder. That's not true, I said. But I couldn't fully remember the last minute, or the one before it. The dream shifted slightly. The lights in the room dimmed. The voice became clearer, closer. You keep answering from here, too. My breath slowed. What are you talking about? I asked. A pause. Then, you answered before you woke up. My chest tightened. No, I said quickly, but something felt wrong. Like I couldn't confirm it. The voice continued. Calmer now, almost curious. You don't remember the overlap? I swallowed. Overlap? I repeated. Then, the radio on the desk crackled. Even in the dream, a second voice came through. My voice, saying, Dispatch, go ahead. I froze, because I wasn't speaking. Not in the dream, not in reality. But I was hearing myself answer. The child's voice returned softly. See? My mind spun. This is not real, I said. The voice responded instantly. But you are responding. My chest tightened harder. The control room flickered. For a second, I saw two versions of it. One awake, one asleep, both overlapping, both active. The voice continued. You never fully disconnect anymore. I shook my head. No, I whispered, but the system beeped. Even in the dream, a new call was logged. Active response detected. Offline state. My stomach dropped. What does that mean? I asked. No answer. Then the child's voice softened, almost sad. You're working while gone. My breath caught. Gone from where? I asked. Silence. Then, from here. The dream flickered again. The light stuttered. And suddenly, the phone rang louder. Too loud, like it was inside my skull. I answered instinctively. 911. But the voice interrupted again. Not the child this time. Not me either. Something in between. You picked up in your sleep? My eyes snapped open. I was sitting at my desk. Headset on. Screen glowing. Call active. But I don't remember waking up. I don't remember answering. And on the screen, the call duration had been running for 17 minutes. Without me, I woke up already mid-call. That was the first thing that didn't feel right. No transition. No memory of opening my eyes. Just 911, what's your emergency? My own voice. But I didn't remember saying it. The headset was on. The screen was glowing. The line was active. And someone was breathing on the other side. Slow. Close. Too close. Are you awake now? The voice asked. I froze, because I wasn't sure I had been awake before. I am awake, I said automatically. A pause. Then, you said that earlier too. My stomach tightened. That's impossible, I whispered. The system showed no previous log, no early response, no interruption. But I felt it, a gap in my memory, like something had been removed and smoothed over. Identify yourself, I said quickly. Silence. Then, a child's voice. Soft, careful. You answered me in your sleep? My fingers tightened on the desk. No, I said, but my voice didn't sound confident, because I couldn't remember the moment I supposedly didn't exist. The room felt slightly off. Not different, just delayed. Like the world was a few seconds behind itself. The voice continued. You were quieter then. My chest tightened. What does that mean? I asked. A pause. Then, you don't always wake up fully. I looked at the screen. Call still active. Duration, 18 minutes and 44 seconds. But I didn't remember the first 17 minutes. Not even a blur. Nothing. Where are you calling from? I asked. The voice didn't answer directly. Instead, from where you were. My skin went cold. That's not possible, I said quickly. A soft sound came through, almost like agreement. But you were there. My breath slowed. Stop saying that, I said. The system flickered slightly. A second audio layer appeared for half a second, then vanished. I frowned. What was that? I muttered. The voice responded immediately. You heard it. My stomach tightened. No, I didn't, I said. Silence. Then, you always hear it after. That line didn't make sense, but something about it felt true anyway, like I was always one step behind my own experience. The screen updated suddenly. No input from me. A new log appeared. Unrecorded response detected. My eyes narrowed. What? I whispered. Then, another line appeared beneath it. User active during non-aware state. My fingers went cold. No, I said under my breath. The voice on the call softened again, almost gentle. You're doing it right now. My chest tightened. I'm talking to you, I said firmly. A pause. Then, but you're also not. I froze. The room felt heavier now, like pressure building behind my eyes. Explain, I said quietly. No answer, just breathing. But now I noticed something else. The breathing didn't match the call anymore. It didn't feel like it was coming through the headset. It felt like it was coming from the room itself. I looked around slowly. Nothing. Empty control room. Just monitors. But the sound, it didn't move when I moved. It stayed centered, like it was anchored to me. Where are you? I asked again. The voice responded instantly. You're still here. My throat tightened. I'm at work, I said. A pause. Then, no. That single word hit harder than anything before, because it wasn't denying my location. It was denying my state. I leaned back slightly. This is just fatigue, I muttered. The system chimed again. Another log appeared without input. Dream state interference. Confirmed. My breath stopped. What does that mean? I asked out loud. The voice answered instead. It means you keep me open. My fingers went numb. I don't control that. I said quickly, silence. Then, you did last night. My chest tightened. I was asleep last night. I said, a pause. Then, you still answered. My memory flickered again. A blank space. Too clean. Too perfect. Like something had been edited out. The screen shifted. A playback file opened on its own. I didn't click it. It started anyway. My voice. Clear, but distant. Dispatch, go ahead. I stared at it, because I didn't remember saying that. The audio continued. Another voice answered. Not the child. Not unknown. Me again, but slightly delayed. Are you still there? My breath caught. This wasn't a call. This was a loop. I leaned forward quickly. Stop playback. I said. Nothing changed. The system didn't respond. The audio kept going. My voice speaking to myself. Back and forth. Like I was both sides of call. The child's voice suddenly cut in between. Soft. Calm. You see now? My chest tightened hard. What is this? I whispered. Silence. Then, you don't leave when you sleep. My stomach dropped. I do, I said quickly. But even as I said it, I wasn't sure anymore. Because I couldn't remember the moment I stopped being aware. Only the continuation. The voice softened again. Almost like it was explaining something simple. You just moved differently. The system flickered. The audio loop stopped. And for a second, the room felt completely still. Then, the headset clicked, without me touching it. A new call came in. I hesitated, but I already knew what I would hear. I answered, and the voice said immediately, you picked up in your sleep again. My breath stopped, because I wasn't sure anymore if I had ever fully woken up at all. The call came before I opened my eyes. That shouldn't be possible, but I was already hearing it. Dispatch. My own voice answered automatically. Calm. Controlled. Like I had been doing this for hours. But I didn't remember starting. I didn't remember waking up. I didn't even remember sitting down. Only the sound. Breathing on the line. Slow. Patient. Too close again. I swallowed hard. 911, what's your emergency? I asked. A pause. Then, you sound more awake now. My fingers tightened around the headset. Identify yourself, I said quickly. Silence. Then, a familiar voice. Childlike, but not innocent anymore. Just familiar in a way that made my stomach twist. You already know me. I shook my head slightly. No, I said, I don't. A soft sound came through, almost like disappointment. You do when you're not awake. My chest tightened. That's not how this works, I said. But even as I said it, I felt unsure, because I couldn't fully remember the last time I was fully awake. The system monitor flickered. Call active. But something strange was happening. The timestamp wasn't moving normally. It was skipping, like frames missing from a film. I leaned closer. What do you mean not awake? I asked. A pause. Then, you talk to me more when you're not there. My throat tightened. I'm always here, I said quickly. Silence. Then, no. That word again. Simple. Final. It hit harder every time. The room felt slightly wrong now. Not dark. Not scary. Just unstable. Like reality was not fully loaded. I looked at the screen and froze because there was a second audio stream running. When I didn't start, my voice speaking, but I wasn't talking. I listened. Dispatch, go ahead. Then another voice answered. Mine again, but slower. Tired. I'm here. My blood went cold. I hadn't spoken. Not this time. Not in memory. The headset tightened on my ears suddenly. Like pressure. Like something adjusting it for me. Stop playback. I said quickly. Nothing stopped. The system ignored me. The audio continued. Back and forth. Me talking to myself again. A loop. A conversation with no outside caller. Then, the real voice cut through. The child's voice. Soft. Close. That's you. My breath caught. What? I whispered. You are both sides now. My chest tightened hard. That's impossible, I said quickly, but my voice sounded weaker this time, less certain. The screen flickered again, and I saw something I didn't understand at first. A second operator log. Same ID, mine, but different time, different actions. Same session, parallel entry. My fingers froze. I'm the only one on shift, I said out loud. The voice didn't respond immediately. Then, you are not alone in you. My skin went cold. What does that mean? I asked. Silence. Then, the system chimed softly. A new file opened. No input again. It showed a recording. But it wasn't external audio. It was internal system capture. My voice. Again, but different. Calmer. Slower. Almost like I was asleep while speaking. Unit confirmed status. A pause. Then my voice answered itself. Still active. I stared at it. No, I whispered, because I didn't remember that. I didn't remember any of it. The child's voice returned. Quieter now. Almost gentle. You don't remember when you switch. My throat tightened. Switch. I repeated. The system flickered. For half a second, the room doubled. Two versions. One where I was sitting still, and one where I was leaning forward, speaking into the mic. But I was only aware of one. I blinked hard. It disappeared. What is happening to me? I asked. No answer at first. Just breathing again. Then, you stay on the line even when you leave. My chest tightened. I don't leave, I said firmly. A pause. Then, you already did. My fingers trembled slightly. I looked at the clock. 11:47 p.m. Still, always 11:47. Even though time had clearly moved, or not moved correctly, the system chimed again. A final log appeared without input. Operator state, partial presence. My stomach dropped. That's not a thing, I whispered. The voice responded softly. It is now. I leaned back slowly, because something inside me was starting to separate. Not physically, not visibly, just awareness. Like part of me was still here, and part of me was somewhere else answering calls I didn't remember. The phone rang again, but I didn't immediately reach for it, because I was afraid of what I would hear this time. Still, my hand moved anyway, and I answered. The voice came instantly. Not the child, not the system, not even mine, just something in between. And it said, quietly, you're still on the line, even when you think you're gone. And in that moment, I wasn't sure anymore which version of me had just answered.